So is Hegmo cooking in his gym? Doesn't he do all the streaming from like right in front of his workout bench?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
actually folds out the pizza dough in the sweat from his bench
That's
press.
disgusting.
Yeah,
He has one of those
No.
tiny little, convection pans,
Mhm.
and he just throws it in the middle of the gym.
the salt doesn't
Oh,
get
he's
fresher than that. Welcome in everybody to the Blurred Podcast. Today we have a very special guest. We are excited to bring on the one and only mod from the auction house that I know of, Mr. Vyre himself. Vyre, welcome in.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's a little surreal because I've already started forming the what they call it these days, the parasocial attachment,
Mm.
and I'm just like here. I'm like, oh my god, I'm a little bit starstruck.
Yeah, well,
It's rigged.
as you know, me, Hegmo, and Dex, Shiraj unfortunately can't make it today, but the three of us are essentially Final Fantasy XI superstars. So it's right for you to feel starstruck. Uh, I always tell
When I got out of
people,
my car yesterday,
Mhm.
someone was taking photos. I was
Yeah,
like, "What the?"
yeah, I always tell people if you want to make it big, start making Final Fantasy XI content.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Somebody told me somebody asked to join my link shell
mhm.
over a couple days ago, and they were like, it was like somebody I hadn't met before. I wasn't familiar with their name, and so I sent them a DM, and I was like, "Oh, how did you hear about the link shell?" Because
Yeah,
like it's not in the concierge or anything right now, etc. So if they have a reference, whatever. And they were like, "Oh, I was talking to somebody in Reddit, and they told me to look up the famous Galka on Shiva." And I was like,
oh
"Yeah,
no,
who's that?" I don't know him. Did you
yeah.
find him or?
hmm Oh my gosh, that's really funny. Your reputation is getting around, buddy. I always said that if there's anybody in the streaming community that can break the triple digits legitimately, it's probably Hegmo. Speaking of which, didn't you have a big streamer on your stream last night?
Oh yeah, we had a guest on our happy hour spot after pizza time, which
Mhm.
is a new weekly feature. We make pizza. So if you guys like pizza, you can join us every Friday, 5 Central, for pizza time, and then we do happy hour afterwards, where we just chat, and then we'll play like a co-op game with my friend Notorious Monster. Um, and we had a guest. We had a special guest, Peter, aka Premier Two, who is a uh, much larger than I am variety streamer,
Hmm.
joined us, and I was actually he was extremely generous with the time. I was expecting him to hop in and be like, "Oh hey, how's it going? Yeah, 15 minutes up. I gotta go." But we chatted for like
Yeah,
an hour and 45 minutes. It was great.
you have to pay for extra time beyond that.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
and
He's got a
he's
new
an
baby,
old school. Yeah, he's an old school player. Like he played back when the game came out, and has played intermittently from since then. He's just recently come back to the game and experiencing it, again for the first time. So yeah, it was fun to get his perspective and talk with him.
hmm That's awesome. Is he coming back? Is it official?
He's been playing. He's on Shiva.
Cool.
He's been playing.
Gonna fully indoctrinate him to the 2025 iteration of Final Fantasy XI.
Yeah.
he streamed, I think after you guys wrapped up, and I hopped in and I said hi, and I said, "Great
Mhm.
job hanging out with the XI boys." He's like, "Well, listen, I have, like, my 15% of the time that I get to do the things that I want,
Yeah.
and the other time is for the real stream.
Mhm.
But for that 15%, I loved hanging out with the boys, and it's good to get eyes on people that deserve it." And I kinda felt the same way.
Well, that's very nice. He said something like that last night where it was like, I try to do like I think he said like the 70-30 rule, where like 70% of the time I do stuff that chat wants to watch, and 30% of the time I do stuff for me. And I was like, yeah, I do like a 99-1 where I play Final Fantasy 11,
Yeah.
which is a game that nobody wants to watch.
Mhm.
And then 1% of the time I play something even more obscure that that nobody wants to watch even
Yeah.
more.
Even older
And it's
game.
not working.
The man's got endurance. He played,
Yeah.
like, that new Silk Song game for, like, 8 hours straight afterwards.
What is Silk Song? I
Yeah.
heard you guys talking about that. I have no
That's
idea what that is.
the new Hollow Knight sequel.
Isn't that like one
Hollow
of the
Knight
2D games?
Hollow
Yeah, it's
Knight
like a
is
side
a
scroller, like
Metroidvania.
Castle Metroidvania style.
Hmm.
It's a really popular game, and it's like a smaller indie studio that made it. And Silk Song was like one of the most anticipated games, and they like kind of surprise dropped the release date, ended up crashing Steam for most of Monday
Oh
or
shit.
Tuesday or whenever it came out. Yeah, so
I
many
would say it
people
lived
were.
up to the hype. It's been very
Yeah,
popular.
Wow.
If you love Metroidvanias, check it out. I would say the Hollow Knight series is probably like right there behind Castlevania and Metroid.
Okay. That's awesome. Dex, how's your week been? What have you been up to, buddy?
Pretty chill. Training a new guy in the sortie group.
Mhm.
Things are going okay. You know, takes time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually really
Okay.
excited because I joined Baby Sortie Static. That starts next
Yeah, I was
week.
gonna ask you,
Yeah.
what the heck?
Yeah, well, so what I did is I only take one out of every 15 offers I have to join a sortie statics. And since you sent me the first 14 offers, I just based on the math, I had to turn them down. But
Every time someone dropped out of my group, I was like, myth.
yeah,
Now's the
mostly it's just your schedule doesn't line up with mine, like even remotely. I'd have to basically wake up in the middle of the night, do sortie with you, and then go back to bed and then
don't
go
you
to
know
work.
how fun that would be?
That sounds not very fun, to be honest with you.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not
Are you guys gonna do
convinced.
9 books?
Yeah, yeah, we have. I think pretty much everybody in the group has done 9 boss in one iteration or another.
That's
So,
exciting.
and it's all like people that I know and have played with for quite a while. So it should be fun.
Do I know these people?
Yeah, yeah, you know, pretty much everybody that's in there.
Is it the McDougal static?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ah,
He
okay.
finally wore me down because he was trying to start a static forever at 6 a.m. And I was the first one to tell him that's a terrible idea because nobody wants to be awake at 6 a.m. East. And if you're trying to pull people from like the West Coast or something, that's 3 a.m. So you're gonna
oh yeah.
definitely have
He
a
had
hard
his
time.
he had his AH recruitment thread up,
Hmm.
and I chimed in, you chimed in too, and get eyes on it.
Yeah.
And then I noticed, I think yesterday, I noticed someone else had jumped into his recruitment thread and was like, "Hey, this isn't my thread, but I figured I'd post here. I'm doing a static at this time." I was like,
Yeah.
"What the hell?
Yeah, I saw that. That's really funny.
This is my
Vyre.
thread now."
Vyre, how have you been, buddy? What's your week been like? What have you been up to? What are you working on in game?
Endgame, I'm slowly working on Ukon Visara again.
Hmm.
I made one years and years ago on my old main uh, that I only took to level 90 because I was a scrub at making Gil.
Mhm.
But I'm making one again just for kind of for the lulz, just to have it, like try it out on my new main. And it's also to work on Navark body seals for Corsair because I got to get my Corsair improved. It's triple shot set. It's garbage currently. So
You're
because
farming the
my link
seals?
shell recently started V20 clears for scrubs like myself,
Mhm.
and we just got to beat Arabati and Ongo still.
Oh hell yeah. Ongo's terrible, but Airbody's fun.
I hear mixed reviews. I've heard people say our body's like one of the hardest ones, like the one of the most difficult
Yeah,
right
I
off
think
the
it's the
bat.
so
most
go ahead, Dex.
difficult until you get the right people, and then it's one of the easiest.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like Airbody's the hardest if you like deliberately do the mechanics wrong, and it's
Ah.
really easy if you just like do it the correct way. Um, and the thing that like I have an issue with is that there's literally so much information out there about 25s now that you can literally just do like a little bit of research, get the cookie cutter strat, and go in and kill it like
You're asking me
relatively
to
easily.
not like do things outside of this game? No, 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 no.
Yeah,
You're
I
gonna tell
know,
me.
I know. I apologize. That was a bad idea from me.
So,
Uh,
Vyre, what server are you on?
I'm on Bahamut. I've been
Okay.
on in the past. I was originally on Astra. I was from Astra, like starting up the game way back in late 03. We couldn't get past the POL beast because of dial-up, and our parents at the time kicking us off of the dial-up. It's like 26 hours to like
Oh yeah,
finish the
patch and
POL
install.
update.
Yeah.
So we didn't get actually into the game until April of I guess it was late March of 2004. And I lost my train of thought. Let's see.
How do you
What was the
like
question?
Bahamut?
Bahamut's great. Um, it's chill.
I've heard good things about it.
Well, what made you hop off Ashura in the first place? Because you were from there, right?
A girl.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking
Let's
Classic,
about.
go.
Did
classic
you
story.
steal the link shell bank when you ran off of the server?
No link shell I've ever been has given me access to the bank.
Dang.
They are all too smart for that.
Dang. Maybe next time though, because I don't know if you're not like familiar with the old days. To be a tried and true Final Fantasy XI player, you'd have to have stolen the link shell bank and run off with the link shell leader's wife at one point.
Mhm.
And that's how you kind of get through your hazing period. In the old days at least. But cool. Well, we're glad to have you. Thanks for coming on the show with us. Really, really appreciate that.
When he said it reminded me when he said, doing the 18-hour install way back when. I was like, what song was that when you did the update, the big update? It wasn't Dolphin. Dolphin's the login.
Oh
But
yeah.
I looked it up. It's Filter Branch.
I knew what
So
like
iconic.
4 of those words meant.
Oh,
Dolphin
come
is
on.
the
I'm talking about the Play Online soundtrack when you're installing the game.
Oh,
It
okay.
plays that unique song.
It's called Dolphin.
No,
Yeah.
Dolphin is the song that plays when you're booting up the game. Dun 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Okay.
That song.
Can you like make a recording for that? Just record it in your own voice like you were
We
just
should
doing that.
do like Dex and I will make an acapella version of Dolphin.
Yes, please. Because I need to make sure that I'm thinking of the right one. So I need to make
Yeah.
sure that. So please record the entire length of this
Sure.
Of course.
If you
Yeah.
want to hear me that much, I know it's usually nails on a chalkboard, but
I come here every week just to hear you.
I don't want to know what you do. You don't have to tell me that.
I don't worry, I won't because nobody wants to know what I do in my free time. So before we get into the topic of the day, have you guys looked at the new update that's come out? The September
Hell yeah.
update?
They might make it playable.
Yeah. I don't have the same excitement that Dex has apparently.
No, I don't either. I'm
okay.
I'm apprehensive.
Yeah, I'm not. I feel like, I mean, if you want to go in an order, I'll save my comment until we get to the
Let's
step.
just say I'm
that
more excited about new items from Besieged.
Well, let's
Yeah.
look at the update real quick here. First part is the adjustments to Besiege. So, and last month they updated Besieged to level 12 Beastman, and it sounds like they
Mhm.
are going to be adding new rewards that can be exchanged for Imperial standing. Is that supposed to be Imperial accolades?
I assume so.
Okay.
It's called Imperial Standing Accolades, so I guess they
Yeah.
just cut the
Oh,
word
okay.
out.
I gotcha. We've made some adjustments to the evaluation format, completing Besiege, so it is now designed to better reward those adventurers who contributed to the city's defense. Ooh.
So you can't just go in and AFK or just stand there.
Yeah.
It's also kind of concerning because I know a bunch of times I've gone in on jobs that can't self buff, like Corsair instead of Bard or Blue Mage, and I've been wailing on things and doing my part, and then I wouldn't get all the credit, and I'm like, what? Come on.
Well, that's the classic problem with like domain invasion and the evaluation tickers. They're not really well balanced, it seems. My number one fear is that Besieged has not given me any incentive to do it. You know what I mean? Outside of like, the perspective idea that maybe someday the stuff will be worth it. Like I don't need a potion. I don't need a equipment that's only usable in besieged. So my fear is that they're going to be like, oh, here's a usable ring. And I'll be like, now I'll be pissed off that I haven't been doing besiege for 6 months.
Yeah.
I think if you had
That's what
been
I'm
doing
worried about.
Siege for 6 months, you could probably have like 20,000-30,000 points. I have 7,000
Yeah.
points. I've done it very casually.
I have 0 points.
So you just haven't been doing it.
I
But
haven't done a
that
single
being
one because I
said
have no aspiration or no interest to.
that being said, like, if they add stuff, I don't think it would take long because
Yeah.
they've added, I think, 4 waves of, difficulty since they
Mhm.
implemented the accolades, and each time the points have gone up by
Yeah.
100 or so per.
Right.
Mhm.
And so and by extension, like this is a little preview to one of the later topics, but this is also my problem with Limbus is that like there's this point system that's increasing every time you clear it, but there's no indication of where you need to go. So it's like there's people like Myth and I that are totally not interested in doing the content. So
Mhm.
we're not increasing our cap. There's other people like Vellner who does 10 clears every week like a psychopath.
I think if you ask
So
Vellner though, he'd be like, he'd probably be one of the first people to be like, "Don't do this. This is terrible."
yeah, but like, when they add hypothetical down the line plus 5 relic and artifact, is it going to cost 1,000,000 points?
Hopefully.
And we're going to be like, well, we should have been up increasing our cap this whole
No,
time. Now we're
I
6
mean,
months behind.
I know you're exaggerating, but there ain't no way.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
million is insane.
I would farm 1,000,000 points for my warrior relic +5 head. Let's do it. I think that should be the
So
challenge.
you'd spend the next year getting your
Mhm.
cap up to 1,000,000?
Yeah. Yeah. Then
Bro,
actually the challenge what we'll do is if the +5s come out, I will not make the warrior +5 until I have 1,000,000 points, just for the lulz. How's that? Just for the content.
Okay. See, and I think I don't have a problem with
Mhm.
the long runway release schedule of like incrementally increasing prestige levels for 9 months or, rolling out Limbus in stages over the course of a year, whatever. But I think that my complaint as a player is just like, can we get a preview of what the roadmap is so that we
yes.
know what we should be doing?
Yeah.
If
That's fair.
they're increasing the cap, I would like to know what the cap is, like what the final point of increasing it is,
Mhm.
and what the purpose will be. Like, you know how with Sortie, they suddenly went from 100K cap to here's a key item you can go up to a
Yeah.
million or whatever,
100
10 million.
million. Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, that was funny. Just jokes on you guys. Go farm 8,000,000 points
Yeah.
for
They just arbitrarily did that to prevent people from holding a lot to be able to spend it when it
Yeah.
came out.
So to me the difference here is that I think historically throughout the game, a Rima has always intentionally taken around about 6 months to make.
Yeah.
And that's still very, very true of Sortie. For the gear, I don't expect it to be anywhere near that level of commitment. But
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I would hope so.
yeah, it's just kind of historically from what I've seen that's what I would expect. Vyre, have you
So
done a lot of Limbus?
My cap's about 72,000, so I've done
Mhm.
like 14 total climbs. Oh, that's in Temenos. I don't remember what my Apollyon cap is
Mm.
because I've hardly wanted to upgrade any of the regular artifact except for the warrior feat
Yeah.
and the Sam hands.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's okay. The trouble is, it's just like it's so much easier climbing with real people, but then like every time real people want to go, it's just like
Mhm.
there's always that one guy who's just like, oh, just let me AFK for a second. He's
Yeah.
gone. It's
Oh
just
He's
like, can we
gone
go
no.
up
for
to the next
45
floor already?
minutes.
And it's just
Yeah.
like, bro, where are you? It's just like
Yeah. No,
In
I
a
get it.
sense, it's kind of better to just go on your own and manage your time the way you want to manage it.
Mhm. Yeah, you've definitely done
But
more Sortie or Limbus than me because my cap is like 50,000.
I'm at like 130 and I feel like I'm slack.
Damn. Well, you are Stex. So
I
the
I
know.
saw that the monk guy, Llewellyn Sturk, from Monk Ammonon, he
Mhm.
was remarking on the auction house site last week, I think it was, that I don't remember he said he'd done the cap every week so far, but he said
Mhm.
his cap was at like 162,000 and still climbing, and I was just like, Jesus, when does it end?
Yeah,
I
Vellner
know
broke
Vellner
200.
he's at like 220.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I remember when Vellner he came into chat and he was like, saying earlier in the day, he's like, "Oh, we're gonna hit 200. I really hope that we stop at 199, and that's the cap." And I'm like, why do you think that's gonna happen?
yeah. Yeah.
He's like, I'm desperate, is why. But
I
you're
think
right.
the current thought process is it's going to cap at 300,000, which is 10 times the
I'm not-
original starting point.
Damn. Is
We'll
it's
there
gonna
see.
be 1,000,000.
did they ever
And
like
I thought I'm.
say that they were gonna put a cap on
They
it,
didn't
I
or
say
feel.
shit.
I feel
Man, we
like
ain't found shit.
where's Sharaj? Where's Sharaj? Because I feel like we've talked about this every week because
uh
we just keep complaining about Limbus, and I'm pretty sure Sharaj said that there was like they had stated in like something that the cap was 1,000,000 or something like that. But I can't remember if we realized that that was just I made it up or if that was verifiable in any way.
yeah, that sounds like something that we would. I mean, 1,000,000 sounds more like something SE would do than opposed to like
Mhm.
100,000 or 200,000, like everybody thought it was gonna be.
But then what's the point? Because you can never, like, even if you save up and do a whole job at once, it's only ever going to be 100,000. So what's the point?
Well, well, the question is what are the other things? Like what's if plus 5 comes along, are they 100K each?
It begs the
Are
question, right? Like,
yeah.
there's got to be something that's worth more than 100 if the cap
Mhm.
continues to grow.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
Here's a question for you guys. Do you think Limbus came out half baked? Did it come out too early? Should they have waited longer? Because I remember when it was initially discussed, they had said fall or winter 2025, and then we got it midsummer, but it
Mhm.
was like not fully complete.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect them to release completed content. If it's
Mhm.
not with even if it is with an expansion, like if it's not with like a buyable expansion, like I think the last example of that would probably be Adoulin. I wouldn't expect like fully fleshed out complete content. I think that's just been a normal thing that they've done, and I've said that
I'm
before.
not necessarily saying fully fleshed out, but
Yeah.
like the NMs, for example, if they had this, we haven't really discussed what's on your screen right now, but
Mm.
if they had released this coming patch as the release of Limbus, where it had something more than just hack and slash, like there's some NM roaming around that you can fight, I
Well,
think it would have been a more more exciting experience for a lot of players.
why don't we read this part of
Yeah.
the update, and we'll discuss if whether or not you think this is completed content. Um,
Yeah.
so as part of the second round of Limbus updates, we're adding some notorious monsters to the mix. Instead of being controlled in a single party, these notorious monsters will be open to any number of adventurers. Overall, they'll kind of be like domain invasion battles, but with the following special features. NMs don't disappear until they're defeated. Their HP will not recover when not currently engaged in battle. If you successfully defeat the monster, you'll be given, and I love this part right here, you'll be given a chance to obtain a new reward as part of your activities in Limbus the following week. And the more notorious monsters you defeat, the greater your chances of obtaining the reward.
Those last two bullets are horrible to me. It's
Yeah.
extremely vague.
Yeah.
Like what the hell?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think this is what I don't like. Like one, I don't like domain invasion style. And who knows, like hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not domain invasion style in the sense that everybody's going to pull their trust bus off and they're going to be shared community buffs for some reason that get overwritten. And so you end up with trust songs instead of like your nitro songs from the bard that's in your party.
Mhm.
Hopefully it's not that, but I don't know. It's kind of like what's the worst implementation of an NM system we could do? Okay, let's pick that. Okay, now let's give them a reward maybe next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind the everybody attacks it thing
Mhm.
because I agree with you that the buffs thing with domain invasion sucks. I don't think that's going to be a thing for this because of the way it's open world. It's not like I could be wrong, but I don't think there's going to be some like invisible barrier like domain invasion and you walk into it and then everyone's
Mhm.
suddenly fighting together. I think it's just going to be like anyone can claim it and continue to wail on it.
Yeah,
My
But
question is
go ahead.
go ahead.
the you know how you set the eye level for all the monsters, and then once you
Mhm.
claim them, it
Mm.
sets them to your eye level. Is that gonna be part of the NMs, or are they just gonna be free floaters, like they're a static strength?
I would hope
Oh,
they're
yeah,
a
that's a good
static
question.
strength, but that's definitely a good question that could mess with things for sure.
Yeah, I don't think there'll
I'm
be
sure they've
anything
thought of that
crazy.
already, right?
Jeez. Um,
You never can tell with SE Joe.
so I can't remember if it's in this update or not, but I do remember them saying that the rewards were going to be accessories and they were not going to be job specific equipment accessories. So
Yeah, I think that was in like the community like video that they put out, the like stream that they do, the
was it
Vanadil Live or whatever.
Amon Live, I think?
Yeah, yeah, AIM on Live. I think that's where they said that they'd be
Yeah.
accessories, not job restricted. Um, yeah.
So my hope is that they redo the old Limbus accessories. But whether or not that's actually going to happen, we will find out, I suppose.
I love the
Which should be
maybe.
what?
Oh,
Brutal
Loquacious,
earring,
loquacious, brutal earring.
yeah,
musical earring,
boxer's mantle,
a stealth earring,
yeah,
boxer's mantle.
yeah. There's also a headpiece that's a ribbon that has a lot of elemental resist stats. It's basically a what is it? A water charm for your head. So I think it would be really cool if
Mm.
they like cooked some other like 119 level stats in there and threw that in.
Flawless
But
ribbon.
yep.
Yeah, I will say that this is what people exactly what the conversation we were having when they announced Besiege was coming out and they were adding new
Yeah,
items.
Limbus
As
specific
people are like, well, look,
accessories.
Walahara turban and all this cool stuff from treasures. I can't wait to get it at I-19. It's like, nope.
Yeah.
Here's your here's your Limbus only earring that gives you, you know what I mean? And if they're talking about they're going to make this domain invasion style, that's how they reward people in domain invasion is domain invasion style only gear. So I don't know. I wouldn't. I'm not. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
I'm cautiously
That's
pessimistic.
yeah, that is honestly fair. I am nervous about this.
I don't understand the whole you defeat a monster, you get a chance at a new reward next week.
Yeah, the next
And
week
then
part,
Yeah.
and I guess like it's to incentivize people to do as many as possible. Because like if it was you get your one and done, and then people would just kill their dragon or whatever and just move on, and they wouldn't go back in. So I guess they're trying to get people to every time an NM pops, you want the server to pile in there or whatever else and have this be really active content. Um, but yeah, it doesn't feel good. I mean, I haven't done it yet. Maybe it will feel fantastic, but I guess it kind of reminds me of like if anybody's played World of Warcraft since they added the vault, right? Where like you do activities, you do your world quests, you do your raids, and it unlocks different like tiers of the vault that you get the following week, and then you can open that and it like select whatever gear you want from a selection. That's cool, perhaps, but I don't know. I'm just afraid of like, here's your you did 20 Limbus NMs last week. You got a old
nothing.
case. Now you open your old case up and it's got a something you didn't need. You know what I mean? Like
It does feel very old case-ish
yeah.
adjacent. But like to your point, I did 20 NMs last week and there was a chance, but I didn't get anything.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I
For
really
me,
hope they're
it'll
always up because original Limbus content, there was always mobs, but there was always mid NMs on each floor at all times. So I hope that they're always up so that there's no like sunk opportunity for players that play
Yeah.
at certain hours,
Mm-hmm.
because Siege is already like a drought in that concept where sometimes you can log in and you're like, screw it, I'll besiege, check the map, it's nothing. Okay, I'm not doing besiege.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great if it was similar to domain invasion in the sense that it's like constantly something's rotating. Like
Yeah.
once you kill the central Temenos NM, it moves to Apollyon, and then it's just there's always something up. That'd be nice, but we'll see.
My biggest critique of besieged is that it's not like domain invasion. It should be coming around more often. So
Mm-hmm.
I hope they don't repeat that mistake with this new NM concept in Limbus. I would like it to be just what you said, rotate constant.
I'm afraid that you're gonna have to like run through 15 different floors to try to find it. That's
That's
the
what link shells are for.
sure. It's true, but how often are you gonna have like a dedicated group going out there and like looking? And I
I don't
wonder,
know.
has anybody tried the yell function in Limbus? Does that work across floors? That
I
might
don't
be
think
helpful.
so.
Mm.
I think that's town only, no?
Oh, or shout, I guess, for
Shout
outside.
should.
Yeah, if it works
Should.
across floors,
Yeah.
that might be helpful. But yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, it certainly works. Absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully.
Anything else cool happening in the update? I think there was a big entry. You've got it pulled up, but I think there's
Yeah.
a big entry about like Dynamis Divergence participation changes, like 3 paragraphs saying we don't know yet.
Let me see. Yes, Dynamis Divergence. We've taken great care when deciding upon the minimum numbers of players allowed in Dynamis Divergence due to the impact that would arise from such major changes to the contents. However, we finally are at the point where we feel like we have an idea what shape these possible changes could take. Although we are not ready to give an update on our progress, we feel it's better to give you the small updates. So they're like, hey, we figured out what we're gonna do, but we're not gonna tell you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Aren't
I
they?
like just like the pair of, hey, we're releasing the 14th incremental update to Besieged. Also, we're releasing the 3rd incremental update to Limbus. Anyway, we've been talking about Dynamis Divergence, and we've decided it's not really a good idea to give you small incremental updates on things.
So here's a small incremental update.
Yeah.
The other bizarre thing was like, we don't know what to do yet, but we decided we're gonna go to the Dreamland Dynamises, the old ones, and do
Yeah.
some unique change to that and go and test it. And if you like it, maybe we'll do that for Dynamis.
Honestly,
Hmm.
like my ears perked up when they started talking about the Dreamlands, and then I continued reading, and I was like, oh, they're just talking about the old ones. God damn it.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where they're like, next year we're gonna do revamped Dyna D
Mhm.
Dreamland.
That'd be amazing.
Dreamland's
be great.
Divergence would be cool.
Yeah, I'd love that.
It'd be nice to know that, like, even if something's on their radar for a down the road kind of update, because I know they're a small team. I'm willing to give them benefit of the doubt. I'm willing to give them time
Hmm.
just to know what their plans and their roadmap are. They released that roadmap kind of thing in their I don't know if it's freshly picked or whatever their little stream is that we don't get an English update of. Why? But it's never full enough. It's never like detailed enough.
Mm.
It's just like July and they show a little picture and there's no
Hmm.
like context as to what they're working on.
Yeah, that's definitely annoying. What I do like about the update that we got here is if we scroll back up, the game is becoming more new player friendly. They
I
are
love that.
adding the Goblin Stew, I think it's the
Hmm.
880, to make sure that you can always be able to do your inventory expansion quests without any
Yeah,
issues.
Yep.
for players who
So,
don't know, all the Gobby Bag quests, all 8 of them, each and every single one of them can be completed in full with one stew. So if
mhm.
you haven't finished your full inventory, then this update's for
Yeah,
you.
instead
Go
of
and grab
having to
one.
get like all these random crafted stuff that like people don't stock except for the Gombi bag because
Especially
it's
on smaller
antiquated
servers.
recipes. Yeah.
Those must be a nightmare.
Yeah, I love that. And then there's some information about the Omega mount. Do you know what this is
I
about,
don't know
Dex? Because
I
you
don't
have the
understand
mount.
it.
Mhm.
They made the quest easier in that the sand thing was harder to get, but when you're doing weird quests like that, you have the Wikipedia up, right? I
Mhm.
feel like this change was for players that don't use a Wikipedia
Mm.
because The quest was quite brain dead with a Wikipedia up.
Oh, okay. So it just makes it easier to know what to do inside the game.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, that's nice. I think there's a lot better options as to things that needed like in-game tutorials than that
Mhm.
quest. But
Okay.
sure.
Well,
And then the last thing on the update list was the Adoulin changes, which
oh yeah.
I am currently doing Adoulin reputation because I'm a psychopath. But
Seek help.
supposedly they're reducing the reputation requirement to hit, max fame to reduce your imprimatur wall and all that other stuff.
Mm.
I think when they first announced it, everybody was like, the usual optimistic speculation of like, oh, what if they're doing what they did with Imperial ID tags to imprimaturs so that like you you don't have to take 6 months to make your Idris. They just recharge faster. But it sounds like it's just like the amount of fame required to get
Mhm.
to capped fame in Adoulin is being decreased.
I don't even think it's that. I think there's an early mission in the Adoulin mission line that
Mm.
requires you to do like a reeve or something, one use of imprimatur, and it makes it easier to get that mission done, and that's it.
Hmm.
But
Well,
I would love to be one of those optimistic hopefuls that sees them doing that in the future to remove the 6-month wait on the ergon weapons. That would be
Yeah.
wonderful.
that'd be
I mean,
interesting.
talking about accessibility for new players, like, it's Rune Fencer and Geomancer, are exclusive in the sense that like the core weapon, they both really require their ergon. And
Mhm.
so like this idea that if a new player comes to the game and they're like, "Oh, I can't wait to play Rune Fencer," and then the game's like, "Well, see you in 6 months if you play every day." You know
Well,
what
they're
I mean?
also fantastic
Yeah,
jobs that are recommended wholesale for a lot of
yeah,
content. So it's like
Yeah.
there's a huge barrier to entry behind a 6-month wait.
hmm
Yeah, how long have Ergons been out now? Almost 10 years? Not
Too long.
quite.
yeah.
Or
Probably. I mean,
10 years.
Adoulin was 11 years ago. I don't
Mhm.
know when the Ergon quests got added in
True, they
after
might have
that,
said
but
9 or 10.
probably 9 or 10.
When was the Nizul assault tag requirement nerfed for Adoulin?
Oh, good
Mythics.
question. How many years after?
Yeah, yeah. How many years after? That's what I'd be interested to know. Because
Hmm.
if it's like 15 years after, I'd say that the Idris and EPO people need to wait another 5 or 6
Hmm.
years, and then they'll get their chance.
Mr. Midboss, you came back in 2016, right? Do you remember the tags being nerfed then?
Was where in Gravity Kingdom, but actually lowers the timer to the 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Mm.
You still have unnerfed assault tags if you don't get the Raptors key item. So it was, I guess, 2015, late 2015, whenever they added in all the Raptors key items.
So
So
it's
it would
like
have
10 years.
been nine and a half years, I guess, after the advent of assaults, because they got with private second class assaults, and I think all the way up to superior private and just dropped.
You're breaking up a little bit on my end, Fire. I'm not sure if
Yeah, he's got a little robot going, but I can understand him.
mine was pretty choppy.
Oh, sorry. Getting better? Like,
Still pretty robotic.
Uh, it's still a little robot-y, but I can understand you. I would say don't apologize, though. It's not something
Yeah,
you
no,
Mhm.
don't worry about it.
Yeah, probably just like a connectivity thing. I mean, yeah, I think it was quite a while after, but I mean, still, I think that if they really wanted to add accessibility to new players, that would be one thing that I think, like the imprimatur walls are just so, they made sense when the content was coming out,
Hmm.
but
Yes.
now it's just such a burden to everybody that comes to play the game because everybody gets hit with it, even if you're not playing Geo or Rune, because you have to do what, like 40 missions in order to progress if you don't have capped reputation. So you're either doing every quest in Adoulin or, it's just, it feels antiquated.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
certainly is.
I definitely agree.
But,
Um,
maybe this is a step in that direction, and, we can cross our fingers. I want to be Mr. Hopeful like the people you were referring to.
yeah. I think that's about it for the update. Is there anything else?
That's all the big stuff.
Cool. So we had a few small emails this week. The first email we got, I'm not gonna read the email because it was pretty quick. We just had a basic question, and we had somebody asking about how on my display I get the attack numbers to show up on the screen. They thought it was a plugin. In case you are wondering about that, and like the old school Final Fantasy like numbers that you're getting hit for and you're hitting for popping up on the screen, all you have to do is go to config, go
Minimize
to
your
yeah,
update.
let me do that real quick. Go to config miscellaneous, and it is right there at the very top, damage display. You can fix that.
So to both. Or if you just, I always keep it on both because I like it
Yeah.
on in the log as well. So I
Yeah.
can like go back and be like, how did I get one shot right now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. I took 47,000 damage. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they were mentioning the colors too, and you can adjust those with the chat filters.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Oh, really? I didn't know that you could adjust that with chat filters. That's
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, you can change the colors in your box, in your chat box, and I think it also works on the numbers that appear in there.
Nice.
Yeah, I would assume it works on the display of things getting hit, like physically, like the ones that pop up on the monster.
Mhm.
But I don't change the getting hit off of red. I know some people do.
Yeah,
I would assume
no,
because
I
of
don't
color
even.
blindness.
Yeah, I think getting hit for red kind of makes sense,
Yes,
but
unless you don't bleed red.
it's true. Some people don't. And then we had another email, and we're not gonna read this email either, but we just wanted to put out there, in general, we love getting emails from everybody. So if you have questions, please let us know. The one thing I will put out there is when we talk about emailing the Blurred podcast, if you are asking for questions about systems that are used for botting or third-party tools that are used heavily for some sort of like RMT flavored activity, we're probably not going to respond to you. And we want to make sure that everybody understands that when we talk about we talked about multi-boxing on the last episode, that's not something that we encourage people to do. So if you ask us about the multi-boxing tools, we're probably not going to respond to that. Do you have anything to add to that, Dex?
I would say like the question didn't seem so much. I understand what you're saying, but it didn't seem so much related to like RMT or things. It was just like more in the multi-boxing realm.
Mm-hmm.
But as a general rule of thumb, you know, I don't want to police how anyone plays the game. I want everyone to have fun. And
Yeah.
the way Square Enix operates, unfortunately, is very no nonsense and very strict.
Mm-hmm.
So I think 90% of the player base recognizes that this game is old as fuck, and most people use at least Windower to not crash the game when you alt tab. That being said, there is a plethora of third-party tools out there. Many are just cosmetic.
Mm-hmm.
Many are egregious. If you feel as though your experience is better by using those things, then use at your own risk. But I don't think this is a place where we need to tell you where to get something, how to use something, or anything of the sort. I think that's for your own discovery.
Yeah, if you are
And
interested in finding that, check out Hegmo's Black Market Discord. And
Whoa, whoa,
yeah,
whoa, 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 whoa. Please don't contact me about the black market.
yes.
Uh,
obviously,
no,
there's like an currency behind multi-boxing that some things are being used to
yeah.
facilitate it. But
Mhm.
like,
I mean, I think that like that's a common question whenever people come into stream or whatever else, and like I think at the end of the day, that the answer is like you should definitely read the terms and conditions to playing the game that you agree to when you log in or anything like that. And I believe it's been a while since I've read them. I need to refresh myself, but I bet there's basically language in there that says like if you do anything that isn't the base game, you modify or you manipulate any file, anything like that, which is inherently done by using something like Windowware, which a lot of people use. You're breaking the terms of service, and you're subject to having your account terminated. So we're not going to condone to anybody using any third-party tool, because we want you guys to continue playing the game and enjoying it. But do that research on your own if you want to.
That being said, I mean, I think if they were to go back and rewrite that terms and conditions kind of blurb about that whole thing, I think if they were to write it today, there would be more nuance behind it. I think just the other day, someone had mentioned to me that Yoshi P, the lead for 14, in an interview had mentioned he doesn't care at all about third party as long as it doesn't affect gameplay.
Yeah.
And that's pretty interesting coming from one of their lead devs. Whereas from the
Well, there
11
was also
standpoint,
there's also a big thing where recently some mod in 14, like a character model update or something, the guy that published it like left his legal name in the GitHub
Oh
repository
no.
recently, and they sent him a cease and desist and shut it down. And uh it was like I believe my understanding of it was like a lot of people were using this to make their character models like uh exceptional in certain
lewd.
ways. Yeah, lewd.
Gooning.
Yeah.
And
Gooners.
yeah.
Well, the thing is
And
they added those, like, gold
basically,
plates where, like, people could
yeah.
pose, and they had to
Mhm.
patch it because too many people were making lewd ones, and they had to,
Yeah.
like, put a disclaimer. So I think that's
And
just a part of that community where
but yeah, I think that, but the thing is that Yoshi P said in response to that, like, basically what Dex said, where he's like, if you want to use something like that, you can, but please don't do it publicly. We don't want it to be the representation of our game.
don't be a frickin' degenerate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only brought that up because this is Square Enix we're talking about, and that's just another part of the office for them, and
Yeah.
it's kind of a conflicting philosophy based on the verbiage that we have on 11. And I think, you know, realistically, if you're using something cosmetic, like no one's gonna care.
Yeah.
There's a 1% chance you're gonna get in trouble,
Mhm.
but because there is even a 1%, I don't want to advocate for anybody to do or use anything. And if you see anything that we use, know that we do that in mind, knowing the risks
No,
associated, and we don't want to
if you see
get
anything that we
harassed.
use,
You're
you were
wrong.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, so moving on to the topic of the day. I'm really excited about this. Vyre, are you the only mod on the 11 auction house right now?
No, actually, there's been a long time mod. His username is Animali, although he's gone by Kojo and uh, something else in the past. He comes in and mods every now and then, and he mostly approves screenshots and then like buzzes off. He might post here or there. Then there's technically
Is that
two other mods, Shadow Lena and Demeshi. And Demeshi is like MIA. He like got mod and then he kind of like did some moderating for 2 months and then he just kind of zoop and
he's
has
like,
not
that's
been
not for
back.
me?
Yeah, just immediately demoralized and just
That's
disappeared.
he saw he saw the inside and he was like, he just crumbled.
Is the screenshots thing you're referring to the front page screenshots?
Yeah.
Those all need to get approved? That's interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't understand the coding myself because I'm a Luddite, but basically people will upload a screenshot and you'll actually see them before they get approved in the corner or whatever. And then like you go to approve them, or at least sometimes, like that's the way it feels sometimes. Like I can just see them. It's like, well, don't I need to approve that first? And, like I don't know, because sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. And then you go to approve them, and some folks like they send in like 20 screenshots at a time of just like the most random stuff.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, okay, is it at least 11 related? If so, I'll approve it. It's like if it's not, then I can it.
Mhm.
As a funny
Yeah.
anecdote to that, I know younger people my brother, I'll take him out somewhere and he'll have his phone out and he'll be like looking at the floor. He'll take a picture of it, add like a piece of text and send it to people. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "This is what people do. This is our way of texting." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
That sounds strange.
Yeah,
Well,
I see a lot of the screenshots where it's like, it's just like a character standing somewhere and they're like, War Sam. And I'm like, what is this adding? And if I were the mod, I'd be like, what kind of, is there like a secret drug deal thing going on in here? Like, this is how they're communicating their inventories to, what I mean?
Being the screenshot moderator would I feel like that'd be fun. Like someone sends the screenshot and it's one of the things that you said, and I would just send a reply like "do better" and
do
not
better.
not
Yeah.
post it.
I see every now and then there's stuff that's just not even completely related to 11. Like it's posted on the
Mhm.
screenshots.
Check out my tattoos.
Yeah, like there's this guy, Questaru, who claims he's Japanese. I don't know if he's actually Japanese, but he like uploads the same freaking selfie of himself like every 3 months. And then like recently he uploaded like 25 different various pictures of like his gaming consoles and like his entertainment setup and like all this random, personal stuff. And I'm just like, no, and I deleted it all. And then he started this thread that was like, "Fuck the moderator," like you little pussy ass bitch, and like the like first three comments in it were him like having a crash out, and
Good.
I was just like, okay, you can have a week-long temporary ban until you calm down, and
So essentially, people are treating this website like Facebook.
yeah,
Which is
sometimes,
Mhm.
yeah.
crazy.
But with
Yeah.
people you don't know in real life. So it's even better. So Virus, how did you start playing and how did you get involved with the community outside of the game?
Well, the very first time I ever played 11 was in a Japanese client at a friend's house down the street. His dad had some sort of connections and was able to get a Japanese computer with the Japanese client
Wow.
in late 2002. And like my friend down the street, his name was Preston, and he was like super duper into EverQuest. And he thought, like, hey, it's similar to EverQuest, and he'd be into it. And he was like a Taru in Sandeoria or something. And like warrior and trying to use hand to hand and like what was
Mm.
on certain gear was just different and weird and couldn't read anything because it's all in Japanese. And he let me play for like 30 minutes and then he was just like, okay, get out of here. I got to get back to doing my grind. It's
Hell
like,
yeah.
okay, that's cool. And then the next year, my older brother, or oldest brother actually, he got a job at Walmart and he was able to get the PS2 hard drive and a copy of 11, I think on employee discount or possibly for free. I don't remember what backdoor deal he did at the Walmart he worked at, but he was able to get it. And he was all excited and he's like showing me the Brady Games guide and I'm like just
Hell
reading
yeah.
through it. And like our family like have a pretty we're all long-standing Final Fantasy fans as far as me and my brothers go, and we've been playing since the very first one on the NES.
Mm-hmm.
And just all excited about reading about 11's take on Red Mage and like and you could sub Dark Knight or something and I was like, oh my god, that sounds
Mm.
amazing. I got to play this game. Like now that I can actually
Particularly
read
like
it, it's like
Yeah.
10 times more. So we got in on the ground floor and then the aforementioned dial-up uh kind of just like kicked us in the nuts. It was like, no, you can't play.
that Brady games guide was like really rough, if I recall. Like some of this information that it gave players was not very
I thought it
Oh
helpful.
was
yeah.
great back in the day.
I still have it. It was
Yeah.
it was extremely helpful for questing. There's some stuff
Oh,
that
that
people
was good. The
laugh
maps
at
were good, right?
now. The maps were fantastic,
Mm-hmm.
questing and all that other stuff was fantastic. There's still some stuff that's like it's when you look back on it, it's silly. Like it's telling you
Summoner friendly.
if you want to be a paladin, try playing warrior sub white
This is
mage
White
to get a
Mage, yeah.
taste for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like to a degree, it's like it doesn't work, but at the same
I
time,
understand what they
I
were
don't think
going
it's
for.
terrible
Mm-hmm.
advice. Or like yeah, the sub summoner kind of aspect, which you'd see occasionally, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, that was good old days. So your first iteration through before you quit Vyre, how was that? What was your experience like when you finally got the game running?
When I finally got the game going, it was like it was a little bit weird. I was about to turn like 14, so I was very young, and my oldest brother, like, he had this baby's mama situation out in Texas because he had gotten this girl pregnant out at a Wheel of Time convention
Oh, of
in Las
course.
Vegas,
Because what else are you gonna
That's
do at a Wheel of
amazing.
Time
What a-
convention?
and so he had to move. Like we
Mhm.
just got this game, we just got up and running, and he's like, he's got to move, and I'm thinking, oh, well, there goes my chance to play because like he's gonna take the thing. And then he was like, no, I'm gonna miss you when I'm gone, and I'm gonna give you my PS2 and the hard drive and Final Fantasy 11. And he's like, I'm gonna get my own copy again when I get out to Texas because he had to like move to El Paso to live with her. And he's like, and we'll stay in touch by playing Final Fantasy 11. I was
Nice.
like,
That's awesome.
damn, okay, cool.
Yeah,
And
it's
like,
great.
he's like, I'm gonna pay for the subscription, just like mow the lawn for dad or something, and send me, your lawn mowing money or something. And I was like, okay, sure. And uh, then, of course, the actually getting started up was a little tricky, like,
Mhm.
because you couldn't choose your server back in the day. So like, I just like wound up on Fairy at first, and then he wound up on
Mm.
Titan, and then I deleted my Fairy character and wound up on Ashra. And then he was like, hey, I found this thing called the Golden World Pass, and we like
Mm.
Mhm.
set up a character on each other's servers because we wound up getting sort of established and not wanting to delete our original characters. And so he had a character on Titan, and I had a character on Titan. Uh, and it's just a lot of fun, a lot of playing. And then eventually, to cut out, like I could go into the details forever because I have a very good memory, but I'll spare you.
Mhm.
Uh,
How long did you play during that time? How long did you and your brother play together?
uh, it varied, but basically up into like the 30s, like every day almost,
Mhm.
um, like EXP and stuff, and then like I kind of like cut down a little bit because he got a job out there and everything. Um, and then eventually my Asher character really got going. Like I started, like I got into this link shell, and um, they like had a falling out where half of them wanted to try to progress towards the end game and like do serious events, and the other half was like, no, that will turn a game into a job. And they had this like started having this debate every night, and then I got grounded for like 4 months from the game because I was playing it too obsessively and hogging the
Mhm.
TV for
Mm.
my other brother.
Mhm.
And when I came back from my like 4 month grounding after Thanksgiving, like the link shell I was in had broken. The guys in it who wanted endgame like remembered me and remembered that I seemed to like kind of know what had an idea for what I was supposed to do, and they like sort of like pulled me into their in-game like progress link shell. And so like I really got going, and I like got up into the like 70s or whatever. And then my brother's Titan character was kind of like in the 60s, and then he just decided, I don't remember exactly the way he decided to, if he paid for server transfer or if he just raised his Asher character enough, but
Mhm.
he kind of like molded in and came over and played on Ashra. And as we both got into the end game, we did like the prime avatars together and stuff, and like he was actually a lower level than me, and it felt weird.
Your older
And
brother?
then
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then
Was this
like
was this during Sky era or COP?
this was basically 2006,
Okay.
right, like right on the cusp, like the summer immediately after Ottergon came out.
Mm.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then
Nice.
uh like I got into some in-game link shell that was like a Sky HNMLS, and he got into his own different one,
Mhm.
and somehow he wound up getting into like a really, really serious one by the time of like 2007 called Remedy. And they were like the epitome of like old 11 endgame. Like they had
Mhm.
guys in salvage, like four different
Uh-oh.
salvage teams to hit every salvage zone every like 72 hours or whatever it was. And
And
they
half of them are gone.
give all the Alexandrite to the LS lead so he can try to fund his Burt gang that
Yep.
he's
Oh,
It's
also
hell
gotta
Yeah.
be a Burt
Of
gang.
course. Of course.
Yeah.
he's buying Gil 4 and everything.
Yeah.
And my
I was
brother's
always a
like,
paladin. In every stage of
It's always a
relic
paladin.
and mythic, it's always a
Yeah.
paladin. What's up with that?
Because the tank is the most important.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That
They all
hero
want to be
syndrome.
special.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my end game link shell at that time too. Was in Aegis Paladin that was working on his Burking, and man, those were wild times. It always was strange to me that people were willing to go farm that stuff and then give all of the currency that they farmed to like some random guy on the internet, and that
Well,
was
Mhm.
just
you have to realize that when we're done, then it's your turn.
yeah. Then it's your turn
Yeah.
after that. Yeah, maybe if the link shell still exists and you get through 10 other people.
I promise I'll help.
And normally the link shell leader would quit like a week after
Yeah.
they got their weapon. Oh man.
Well,
So
what wound up happening to Remedy actually was they were doing the salvage duplication
mhm,
exploit,
Mm.
and almost every single one of them, but that particular paladin, I know what happened to them because they had their own, a lot of link shells there. And again, they had their own forum websites where like you'd have to
Yeah.
go apply and like
Yeah,
be
I
part of
remember
their
that.
forum too. And he he got a temporary ban because they suspected his account of RMT activity,
mhm.
and he just like he skirted by, and he just got his Burt King completed, and he was just like, haha, take that 34 years estimate on completing mythic weapons.
Oh jeez, yeah.
And then he got LM17 permabanned for the infamous salvage bans.
Yep. Damn. Brutal.
Damn.
What a goofball.
Crazy.
Yeah, that
Crazy.
sounds about right
Things
though.
people do.
And then after that it's just, I don't know, I probably wouldn't come back after that, personally. Maybe
So
Yeah,
you and your brother
my brother
never
did.
oh
in
really?
game? Oh, your brother got banned too.
Yeah, I was at college. I just started college. It was like 2009 or whatever,
Mhm,
and he calls me on the phone, like not just like a text or an instant message, because we were using like either Yahoo Instant Messenger or MSN. I don't
mhm.
remember
Mhm.
which for most of the communiques outside of game. And he calls me on the phone. He's like, "Hey, there might be a problem." And I was just like, "What?" He's like, "You might get banned." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, why would I get banned?" And he's like, "Well, I'm still paying for your account. It's still on my credit card, and technically in my name, and I just got banned." And I was just like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah. That's not ideal. But
But
you slipped
actually,
by?
that they were. I slid by. There was actually a like character by character basis. Like basically
Mhm.
anyone that was in a salvage group that did the exploit, whether the
Mhm.
person in the group knew or not, they kind of got like umbrella
Damn.
swept in. And he'd knowingly participated in it to get like a lot of the salvage armor.
Mm.
Um, and
So you could say he was asking for it based off what he was wearing. Is
yeah, more or
okay.
less.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
I mean, he was only wearing what he was wearing for the decks, though.
Sure.
Why would he be doing that for me?
No, he's Mithra, Manthra.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But he's gotta make sure that he can get that extra money for his birthday.
Yeah, of course.
Hmm. Vyre, when did you quit your first time?
20, 2013.
2013. Okay, so you
Uh,
Oh,
didn't
like
have a huge
right around
break.
Years of Adoulin?
Hmm.
Or right
yeah, it
before?
was over the girl again. Basically, it was already long distance because she was from France, and then like all this, interpersonal stuff happened, and then um, I was in the Navy at that point, and I had to move out of the barracks
Hmm.
unexpectedly. Like they're just like, okay, it's time for prototype, and normally they give you like 2 months to like shop around for living quarters. But for my particular class, they just like need to the Navy. We need you out of the barracks within 2 weeks. And so I wound up having to like sleep on the floor of a friend's base housing, a married friend's base housing. Like I slept in his closet for a month
Oh shit.
Wow.
um, while we house hunted together. And we eventually got an apartment, but with that sort of living arrangement, I just didn't want to be like on voice comms with her. But I was also working minimum 12-hour shifts of the nuclear prototype school.
Hmm.
And I just like with the time difference with her in Nice, France or whatever. It didn't, like, I couldn't talk to her. And after
I'm
I got
sorry.
back from that month, like, she was just like looking for an excuse to dump me, and she dumped me for
Hmm.
some dude from Ohio.
Damn.
And like, this was after she had like sent me like lock of her hair and stuff in the mail and like all sorts of other stuff.
Sounds like you dodged a bullet.
And kinda. I was pretty broken up about it at the time.
Sorry.
But yeah, I just like I couldn't stand playing anymore, so I was just like, I think I'm done. And then like
Well, she gets
14
all the
was
potatoes now, and you get to play Final Fantasy.
There you go.
I don't know what she's up to these days, honestly. I did get a little spooked like 2 or 3 weeks ago, or maybe I don't remember the exact time, but on the auction house site, there's a most viewed character list, right? So
Mhm.
people go view your character on the auction house site. They jump up and most viewed, and her character actually has moved to Bahamut and got most viewed like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Mm.
And I was just like, that's spooky. Why is she on Bahamut now?
Following you.
But I have not seen her at all in game, so I can only assume it's for an unrelated reason.
Yeah.
But
Would hope so.
yeah, I quit in 2013 and started playing 14 with friends that I made from the auction house website. They're all
Hmm.
11 veterans, and we started a link shell on Excalibur, and started having fun in 14 a lot for several years, and then I just got the 11 itch in like 2016.
Mhm.
I was like, I'm gonna go back and finish Rhapsodies, and I came back to play it. And after playing 14 for so long, where everything's a lot simpler, um, it was just like I have a headache now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was pretty common. Like I know that happened with the Link Shell and the people that I played with, where like basically everybody moved to 14. And everybody played 14 for a few years, and then eventually like half the group would kind of slowly trickle back to 11. That definitely happened with my Link Shell as well.
Mhm. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty common thing. A lot of people, when 14 was coming out, were trying to convince me to go play 14. And I remember a big argument back then when 1.0 was out was like, there you can just basically have your same character over there. And at one point, I think they were even talking about 1-for-1 transferring your 11 character onto 14, and it just being like a copy of 11 just on better graphics. And then obviously 1.0 went into the ground and they
Hmm.
completely redid it. So glad
I loved 1.0.
yeah, glad I didn't ditch everything and head over there.
I don't know where that like rumor of the one-to-one transfer came from, because it was anything but.
Yeah, yeah,
I think like a lot of it was just probably fan speculation and
for,
stuff like that, just
yeah,
like stemming from the idea that the races were similar, and like the classes were similar. So
Mhm.
people are like, "Oh, it's exactly like 11 and you can make your character over there," like it just spun out of control.
I get
I'm
that, but
sure
like
that happens a lot. From the Final Fantasy Auction House forum perspective, I'd love to talk a little bit more about that specific experience, like the types of speculations and things that happen in various threads, how crazy out of control things get. But
I feel like it's definitely not as much of a thing now, but at least like in the early game, and especially early on in the game's inception, the whole class system was so much more interesting than 11's, in that
hmm,
you you leveled up a class and then it split into two different jobs.
Hmm.
That was very unique to it, and it might not be as important now, but
Yeah. I'm not like super familiar with 14 or anything, but I it felt weird when my job was upgraded to the new version of my job, but also still the same job. And
it was weird.
yeah.
And you could change it to the other one, and then you'd have to like get gear for that.
Hmm.
It was very weird.
Yeah.
I would say 1.0 as a 11 player was a lot more enjoyable than a lot of people give it credit for. And the bigger problems with the game were the like background ones, like the system ones, or the way
hmm.
the map was textured and overlaid on top of itself. A lot of things
Or
like
like
that.
how you were penalized for playing the game for too long, kind of
That
stuff.
too. Like go to
Yeah.
bed.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Vyre, how did you start getting involved in the auction house community?
Well, basically, towards the end of 2008, my 11 character got keylogged because I was a dumbass, and
Mm.
I don't know what that means. I'm
I
pretty
started
stupid.
using, like, you can
So
go
the
on the
account
auction house.
information was stolen. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I was stolen by RMTs and moved to Ragnarok. And basically, I had known for a while the auction house site has the functionality that you can go search player names and servers, and you can like look people up. Like you can go stalk people and look people up.
Great.
And
You
I was
stalk
like
yourself.
trying to figure out where Vyre got put. Because like I wanted to go through the character restoration, but since my brother, the account at the time was still in my brother's name, so he actually, like, I found out he had to do, all the restoration work, and I was like, hey, brother, can you do the character restore for me? And he was just like, can't you do it? And I was
Mhm.
like, I've gone as far as I can go. Like I've done everything short of pretending to be you.
Yeah. I need your like driver's license and stuff like that that they
And
ask
then he's like,
for.
"Can
I'm
you do
sure.
Yeah,
that?"
yeah. That's where it got hung up. It's like I
Yeah.
can't, like I can't just, yeah.
Mhm.
So like he was refusing to do it because he can be kind of stubborn, and so I was just like, well, where is my character at least? And I was like, found out, oh, he's over on Ragnarok. Wow, this is crazy. And it took a while, but eventually I wore my brother down and he did the restoral for me. And once he actually went through and did it, it was like 2 days, and boom, I got my character back.
Yeah.
And then I had to apply for the restoral to like roll him back because like I logged him in on Ragnarok and like it's typical RMT thing. All of everything on him that could be sold was sold.
Mhm.
Everything, he was in only rare exclusive gear, so he was like a level 75 warrior that, it's like assault jerkin, Byaku's Haidate,
Mhm.
like AF feet, like Walrus turban, just like
And this was in 2016?
no,
7.
2008.
2008. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And so at the very start of 2009, once I got my character back, I was just like, you know what, this auction house site, like, let me keep track of my character at
Mhm.
least. So, I'll go ahead and make an account. I made an account and started. I didn't start posting, I don't think, right away, but uh, eventually I started posting there. And then when I got really active there, like a lot of other people, when the 2010, I think it was 2010, right? The
Mhm.
tsunami caused a
Mhm.
meltdown at Fukushima Daiichi, and they had to uh, like the rumors were they were going to move the servers, but apparently they didn't move the servers. They just shut them off. They shut 11 down for 2 weeks because they were trying to
Yeah.
help conserve energy.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember
I
that.
don't remember that.
Yeah, that was in Abyssia days. They did that.
Yeah, 2010.
Mhm.
And so tons of people started using the auction house forum at that point because,
Mhm.
their normal social outlet of 11 was offline.
Yeah. That's that was a big thing. I was heartbroken. I think this is also about the time I was getting ready to quit the game for my long period of time though. So once you started getting more involved in the auction house, how long was it between that and you becoming a mod?
I became a mod in December of 2016.
Okay.
So about 6 years, I guess, or 7 years.
But you've been a mod there for a long time.
Yeah, although there was like a 2 or 3 year gap where I couldn't log in. The site code had some sort of spaghetti
Mhm.
mess up and I just could not log in. And I just didn't like it didn't register me to like go to the Discord and just ask directly like, "Oh, hey, I can't log in."
Oh,
And,
right, right.
eventually I did get tired of not being able to log in and I was just like, people probably think I'm Demeshi at this point. And I went ahead and it's like I asked Rooks, I was just like, "Hey, I can't log in. I haven't been able to log in for like 2 years, man. Can something be done about this? Like, am I banned or something? Like what's going on?"
You didn't mod hard enough.
Rooks is like, yeah, you were actually banned. Not for anything that you did, just because we were tired of it.
So is Rooks the head mod? Like he manages you guys, or
He's admin. He got admin at the start of 2016.
Okay.
Basically, he wasn't always a mod, but he's one of those guys who did work on I think on stuff related to the windowware, I'm not 100% sure, but he did software and programming work for a lot of the nice quality of life things that people add to their 11 experience. And he's a pretty talented programmer, is from what I understand.
Mhm.
And so he started to help Scrag, who's actually like the guy who created the auction house site, if I'm not wrong on that.
I think that sounds
Um,
right.
and Scrag is a very silent entity. He's a very busy man.
Mhm.
But Rook's, there's still certain things in the site's programming that he just can't do. That he has to ask. He doesn't have like the source code he needs or whatever to like do the change. So there's still stuff he has to ask Scrag to do. And let's see, he got moderator, I think, at the very start of 2015, and then within a year they gave him admin.
Mhm.
And before him, it was this other guy, this young businessman. I say young, but I think he's like 10 years older than me, named J. Rick, who had a Ryu from Street Fighter profile picture for the longest time.
Mhm.
Um, and apparently there's like I was asking for auction house history because I like wanted to be semi-professional and like give you guys some neat like auction house site lore.
Yeah.
So I was like asking like, hey, like, do you have access to the post archive? Like, what's the very first post on the site? And Rooks was just like, I hate to tell you, but it's a lot more organic than that. We didn't like do a mission statement. We just made this website to like Scrag just made the website to so you could see the auction house while you're
Mhm.
not in game. And also every post prior to 2008 no longer exists
Oh, wow.
because they had to update, like they had to overhaul the site at some point. And so when Scrag overhauled the site, like a lot of the old stuff it's just lost. It's gone.
Mm.
So the first ever post, not there. Apparently the colors for like moderators and admin also used to be different. Like admin used to be yellow and there was like orange for VIP or something.
I'm glad they changed that. It's much more professional with
It's pretty
purple
cool that
admin.
yeah, true. It's pretty cool that it's still that old though. We're
Yeah.
talking what, 17 years?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know the actual year that the auction house website was made and started. I just know it's older than 2008.
Mhm.
Yeah, which is crazy when you think about the context of Final Fantasy 11. Most of that time, at minimum, there's been this site that's been running, that's been a resource for the community. That I think, I think it's probably maybe outside of Wiki. I think almost everybody I know that plays the game uses Final Fantasy Auction House.
It's kind of like an essential resource.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest, especially like when I was coming back to the game, going on to the forums and just kind of like reading what people were saying was one of my favorite things to do. And just going through like the hundreds of random pages and trying to find out what information was still useful, still relevant. It was
That that's how I still use it.
yeah.
I mean,
uh
if you take the forum aspect of AH aside,
mhm,
like, there's a lot of useful and not useful information in the
yeah.
forum, but the resource of the website itself and all of its functions are like essential to players in the
Mhm.
modern game.
Yeah. So this is the part of the interview where we've lured Vyre in, and now that he's a little
Mhm.
bit more comfortable, we're gonna we everybody knows that we smear Auction House's name a lot. So
Yeah. Now we
now
switch to
we're
what
switching
the
to
fuck is
attack
wrong with
mode.
you?
Yeah. The outline that we actually sent you is a lie, and I have just like a bunch of really aggressive questions that we're gonna ask. Is that okay?
Go for it. You can't do any worse to
I mean,
me than
I
people in
think that I
2012 did this
I
shit.
I'm a very like admittedly I use auction house all the time, and I'm
Mhm.
also very open about like when it comes up, like on stream or elsewhere. I'm like,
Yeah.
I usually say, like, if there's a new player, I have a new player in my chat. Somebody's like, oh, where can I find information about the game? I'll be like, there's BG Wiki, there's Final Fantasy 11 auctionhouse.com. Be careful.
Be careful.
There's a lot of terrible stuff that happens in there. I just be careful when you go. Yeah, because it is kind of like a there's a lot of opinions that get flown around and a lot of very opinionated people
Mhm.
on the auction house forums.
To keep it on the positive for now, because I was just
Hmm.
messing around with the smear campaign. Though I mean I'll be the first to admit that we have historically talked quite a bit of shit about the auction house forums.
I don't
I
think
wouldn't
it's
have
the
it any
fault
other
of
way.
the auction house forums. I think it's the fault of the people who like to go there.
Yeah, it's definitely not like any of the admin people that are working on the auction house site. It's not like they're the ones that are in there just saying weird things. But anyway, Vyre, what's your favorite part about being a mod? You've been a mod for a while now. You seem pretty active still in the forums. Every time I go in there, it's normally not very hard to see you commenting on a thread. What keeps you going and being active there on that website?
Well, I like posting. I like writing forum posts and long comments and things. And there's no character limit there, so you can just kind of like
That's good.
keep going.
That's really good for
And
you.
yeah, like I think it was last month, early at some point, somebody uh I don't remember what it was on. It was either story related or it might have been 14 related. And this might have happened multiple times already, but somebody like said something and I had an opinion, so I just started writing. And then like when I posted the post, it stretched the page down
Mhm.
like it was the length of essentially, there's like a base limit like to display, the user. Like even if you just typed in like cinnamon toast crunch or something and then hit
Mhm.
reply, you take up however much of the page. Well, my long post took up like I think 6 posts worth of
Hell
like
yeah.
page,
Yeah.
and people were just like, "What the fuck, man?"
Yeah, but who was like, what the fuck, man? People that were just posting or like other staff of the auction house?
Just other people
Yeah,
posting.
then it doesn't matter. Fuck them. Just have a good time. Are there like any memorable moments that you've had over the years, like in the auction house? Like, are there any threads that stick out as like, oh my gosh, this is really good or really insane?
I mean, I've been there a long time and I've seen a lot of different threads.
Hmm.
I say the most memorable thing or most like change to the landscape thing was the site used to have politics and religion
Yeah, I was
as
gonna
like
ask about that.
a
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
separate,
That
like
sounds like a landmine.
kind of like a containment facility for a lot of the people with all the strong opinions, because that would be their favorite place to go, and they would go and they would
Mhm.
post there not exclusively, but almost exclusively, and they'd usually get all of their banter and their deranged opinions and argumentative fire out of them there. But the thing is when I had that 2-year gap where I couldn't log in,
Mhm.
um, the other moderators, they kind of like Animali, he kind of he mods. We all mod in our free time. It's not a paid position or anything. So
Right.
like
Wait, what?
he came up to a lot of um
You
like
better get paid.
I wish. But yeah, he like his moderating in the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, he's been very reserved and off in real life. And like I said, the other two moderators that became moderators when I became moderators, they kind of both jumped ship
Mhm.
like almost immediately. And then I just couldn't log in. So the only person left to moderate anything was be the admins, and that's Rooks or Scrag. And Scrag is too busy,
Yeah.
and Rooks does not have any patience for uh, any sort of flame war oriented posting. And he looked at the politics and religion side, and he was just like, "Okay, you guys need to calm down and not do this, or this anymore. And if you can't, I'm taking the section away." And you know how people behave like humans, they just like to push boundaries.
I like
And
Rooks. It sounds
Yeah.
they
like a move that I would make for sure.
they pushed the boundaries, and Rook said, "Okay, you can't have it anymore." And he's like, "Politics and religion is forbidden."
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard I remember when Rooks came on one of the other podcasts, he talked about nuking that thread and To be honest, I am surprised it lasted as long as it did. Yeah, I don't know if.
I was gonna say honestly, so true.
Yeah, I don't know if the intention of like making the website was just to have like a free floating forum where people can kind of just put out whatever their basest thoughts are out on the internet. But politics and religion for an online game as
Yeah,
diverse
that's
as Final
crazy.
Fantasy 11
Yeah.
seems like a really risky
Really
topic.
wild thing.
Yeah.
What's really funny
Somebody
about it? No, go
I
ahead.
was just
Go ahead.
gonna
Hagel.
yeah, I was just gonna say somebody said something in chat that kind of triggered a question that is relatively unrelated to this, but and you don't have to name names or anything like that, but is in your experience, you've been moderating for so long. Are there users that like pop up in threads and you're like, oh, here we go again? Or are you used to it at this point, or are there people that are like still on your list where you're watching for them?
There have to be notorious
Yeah.
players
Oh,
and names.
Yeah.
there used to be. Some of the more notorious people, when it came time for me to deal with them, instead of giving them like warnings or like wrist slaps, I just said, "Okay, you're done." And I just went in and banned them by like IP address. uh,
Oh
Wow.
wow.
but nowadays it's like there's this one little handful of people that like one of them is a notorious RMT, and one of them is like his greatest enemy,
Yeah.
I know.
and
Is
Yeah.
it bad
they
that like I know exactly who these people are just by
Yeah.
you saying that?
I feel
like
like
they always have their little tete-a-tete. But then
Oh
there's like the people who just can't help but like they used to frequent the politics and religion, and they're still there, and they just will link like a news headline into random thoughts. And it's just like,
yeah.
please don't, because everyone has to have, even if they're not like that, they have to have their little quibble or their little say,
Mhm.
and it keeps going. And like I guess they're not really on the list. Like I'm not like super duper watching them, but like the last time it spilled out, which was like last week or something, with that shooting that happened, the
Mm.
The
this
church.
yeah, other
Yeah.
people came in and had
Yeah.
this crash out about that, and
Has there ever been any thought in removing the non-game related threads from the auction house? Like I know the politics and religion stuff got removed, but I'm just curious like what the if there is a reasoning behind keeping like the random thoughts and stuff.
well, it's mainly because people, humans are humans,
Yeah,
and
they just
like
want to talk.
one of the rules is, like don't derail threads, and even like even with the place, here's where you go when you want to just, talk or bullshit. Like
Mhm.
people still go into threads that have a very clear theme or very clear, hey, this is what this thread is for, and they still derail them. And
Mhm.
it's just like, I don't know, I'm too chill to like go around and like destroy people for derailing threads, even though it's technically one of the rules. But I feel like if we didn't have the ones that, are specifically for that, there wouldn't be anywhere for me to point when I did start trying to
Mhm.
like destroy people for
Mhm.
derailing threads.
Yeah.
What you could do
I
is
think that like it's always nice. It's one of those rules that's nice to have to moderate when you want a reason to. You know
mhm.
what I mean? Like it's nice to have in your pocket where you're like, okay, now I need an excuse to step in here. Let's do this.
Yeah. Just now I need an excuse to ban this person.
Yeah.
But you could just like make a chat room that's like real time and then make sure that nobody is ever exposed to that and then just like throw all of the if they just want to bullshit throw them all in there. I have no idea what that would look like on the back end. I'm just bullshitting, but I think it's interesting like how wide the variety of topics is on the auction house, because we have like random thoughts XI related, random thoughts in general, obviously all the XI related stuff, and then so many non-related topics. There's a 14 subtopic. um I think there's other games in there too, isn't there?
Is there?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure about other games, but
I
I
know
do
they
know
get
that the
discussed.
14 gets discussed because they did this thing back when uh, I don't remember if it was when 1.0 came out or if it was closer to 2.0, but they decided on the back end that technically they would have another web domain called FF14 Pro.
Mm-hmm.
And so technically you can access the 11 auction house site through 14 Pro, although that side of the site is kind of like it's there.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying though, like, cause I haven't looked at this in a long time. If you go to like forum latest topics at the top, you can filter by 11 or 14, and 14 only has 2 posts.
Well, 11 is definitely the superior and more popular game, so that makes sense to me. I don't know how you feel about it, Fire, but I think you've probably played 14 more than most of us have here, except for Hegmo. I think Hegmo plays it a little bit, but I'd say
I
11.
was super into 14 when I was super into it. Like
Mm.
it took a while. Like the first year I played it, it was after I got early access to the 2.0. I desperately wanted to play it when it was 1.0, but I
Mhm.
didn't have, the computer requirements. Like I had to get you
Yeah,
would have
same
to get
boat. Same boat.
But yeah, I played super dedicated after I got into it, which took I guess about 4 months. Like I was just like, oh, this story is kind of subpar compared to 11. Oh,
Mm.
these cutscenes where I just stand here and nod my head. Where's my Sir Ragelis throwing his sword, through an Ahriman?
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
saw that. I just did that cutscene the other day. It was fantastic.
but yeah, I got super into 14 basically until after 6.0. The story started to unravel plot wise, and the player base changed significantly with the last huge influx of all of the World of Warcraft refugees with the Asmongold and all that.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, like every few years for 14, basically, dissatisfied World of Warcraft players would be like, I think it's time to go see what that game's going about, because
Mhm.
like I heard it was shit, but now people are saying it's good.
Yeah.
Um, so
Big
they'd come
streamer
in,
plays game, and large amount of community follows it just because they're watching, you know?
but yeah, it's like that perfect storm. Like they had this, critically acclaimed Shadowbringers expansion, and it was really
Mhm.
good, story-wise,
Mhm.
gameplay-wise. But the uh, Blizzard had that controversy with what was it? How they treat their female staff.
Oh.
Oh yeah, this was a
Uh,
few years ago.
Oh,
Yep.
that was
which
the year when everything went wrong for Blizzard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then Asmongold was like, I'm gonna go try 14, and then like this more World of Warcraft people than ever before, just suddenly boom, 14, and I'm kind of old head, having played 11 a lot. It's a lot of salty people back in like the Argon days who are just like, fuck WoW, like, um,
Yeah,
and
yeah, because in typical 11 fashion, we view people leaving 11 for WoW as like us, or them
Well,
taking
yeah,
away
it's
something from us.
yeah. It is crazy that like there's that such loyalty to 11
Mhm.
still. Even like 14 players. Like there's so many people that play 11 that are still like fuck 14. This is the best game. Like just like what Myth said. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like there's still like this idea that it's a superior game or sticking and having your loyalty to this game or whatever else. So
yeah.
uh
You played
I'll try to
WoW.
be
You're an
quiet.
inferior 11 player.
I've played WoW and 14. I don't know
Oh,
what that says about
see,
me.
that's why you
I'll
haven't cleared V25s. It's okay.
That's true.
It's
That's
just
true.
Ooh.
That
yeah,
I mean, there is
yeah.
hmm.
So I have not played WoW, and I've very barely played 14. So that's why I'm just miles ahead, obviously. Uh, so Vyre, you don't get paid for the auction house mod work. So what are the rewarding aspects of that job? Because we talked a little bit about like the stuff that is not super pleasant to deal with. What are some of your favorite parts about
It's the power. He needs power.
it?
well, it's getting to have the green username.
Mm-hmm.
Green's my favorite color,
It does look good
so.
on you. It does.
But also just as a aside to the previous thing, not to jump back to it, but
Oh, you're
I
good.
did play WoW once.
Mhm.
I tried to get into it at a friend's house, and I was like a dwarf, I think.
Okay.
Good
And
choice. Good choice.
I got to play for like 5 levels, and then he was just like, "Okay, it's time to play Halo now." You're like, "Get off."
Hell yeah.
But yeah, for as far as rewarding, um, the just like a lot of times, like when I actually moderate people and actually punish people, I feel bad about it.
Mhm.
Because like I'm just like, did I punish them fairly or whatever? And then I get this reward. I don't know if it described as a rewarding feeling, but it's a pleasant feeling. Like whatever decision I've made, like Rooks will back me up. He'll come in and he'll
Mm.
be
Feel
like,
validated.
he'll be
Yeah.
like, Vyre, you're an idiot. You shouldn't have gotten baited, but it's okay.
Yeah, but it's okay. And I back up your decision. Yeah, that's always appreciated. How active is Brooks these days with that kind of stuff?
Uh, he's more active than you'd think. Like, there's actually a perception that I don't do anything.
Mhm.
Because I post so frequently, and then like people will see like something they don't like someone said, like, oh, you're an idiot to use that piece of gear, and then like you go to the report section, and it's just like this guy reported like, oh, excessive hostility, and it's just like, was he really? Like, I mean, you responded to him by calling him like a fuckface or whatever. Like, um, I don't like if I moderate him, I gotta moderate you. So
Yeah.
like. And like sometimes you'll get like private messages as a moderator being like, "Why don't you do anything about this guy? He's been hounding me for years." And it's like, I looked at your posting history and I saw that you kind of like hounded him back. I don't like, you want me to like delete both of you? Like, I mean, I can.
You ever like have somebody report somebody for harassment and they're like, "Yeah, your gear is trash," and then you go and respond to the person reporting, and you're like, "Well, they have a point. Your gear kind of is trash."
I don't get to say that in this era. Like, I haven't cleared the V25s yet.
Oh, okay. All right. I gotcha. I
You
mean,
don't have to
I
clear it. No
yeah.
objective truth.
Yeah, I think you can still get away with certain things, you know. There's
They don't know that.
yeah. You could go to your auction house profile and just like I'm sure there's a way you could insert the R30 stuff onto your character just to
Oh,
like
isn't I had questions about that. Isn't that all Guildworks stuff? And Guildworks is like dead, so it's just a problem on the back end.
Yeah, it's all guild work related. I don't. I'm not a programmer myself. Like I said before, I'm a Luddite. I'm not good with technology.
mhm,
And which is one of the reasons I'm vanilla. But the it's all Guildwork side, and then there's something about it where like to fix it, Rooks has to ask Scrag to do it.
mm,
And then like Scrag can't do the fix that needs to be done because it has to come from the Guildwork guy. And from what I understand, the guy who's like over Guildwork, he's the guy who made Discord or
That's
something.
correct.
oh
And
really? I didn't know that.
he's not.
He's got bigger fish to fry now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a kingpin now. He doesn't need this this
That
Guildwork.
that makes a lot of sense actually. I knew that the person that created Discord played 11. I didn't know it was the same guy that made Guildwork.
He made Guildworks as like a way to connect the people who played Final Fantasy with him, and then Discord was the next obvious decision.
Mhm.
In like we use Vent and Vent sucks, or we use Skype and Skype
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah. Definitely. Um
So I'm
so
sure you get a lot of those questions though, relating to like, why can't I make my stuff look good? And it's all always that's Guildworks, and I can't deal with that. Sorry.
Well, actually, like coming back to the point of a lot of people think I don't do anything. A lot of people, they just ping Rooks directly in the auction house Discord, and they also sometimes just private message him directly and asking him for stuff. And like the funniest thing about it one time was someone like pinged him in the auction house Discord fairly recently, asking him to do like this minor fix for their thread or something. And I just responded with, "You could have asked me." And they're just like, "Who are you again?"
damn.
That's how I feel on this podcast.
So is the auction house Discord open to the public? Because I didn't
As
even
far
know
as
there
I know,
was such
yeah.
thing. Okay.
You just there's a drop down menu to the left on the auction house homepage. And I think there's a link that takes you to the Discord, but it's been a long time, and I don't know. It might not be. It might be broken. I don't know.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't know that there was an auction house Discord.
Yeah, it's pretty small, pretty chill. It doesn't do anything as robust as like even your Discord does. It's very, very small, very low key.
Okay. Is there a politics and religion section in the Discord?
No, no.
Okay,
There's like
just checking.
there's like basic channel, support channel, and then moderator channel, and that's about
Gotcha.
it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Because would Rooks be open to the idea of adding a politics and religion thread, do you think?
Myth is trying to confess that he was an avid poster in
Yeah,
politics and
yeah,
religion, and he
yeah.
really needs an outlet.
I was actually the one that pushed Rooks' boundaries. Didn't you know that?
Yeah.
No. I think I posted maybe a total of 3 times on Auction House. One was when I was trying to make a static for the V25s when I came back. And then when the V20s were being like they were being theory crafted, I had a couple posts in those because we were trying to figure out how to start doing multiple key items. Considering the V20s were coming out, nobody knew a whole lot about them. And then other than that, I normally just kind of like maybe throw a troll post into like one of my friends recruiting threads or something like that. Like I'll talk about how Dex saved my life doing CPR and how you should join his sortie
I was just
static
trying
or
to
something
guess
like
you.
that. I know, but I still enjoyed it. And so that's why I think you should join Dex's static, stuff like that. I think Dex is a little bit more active on Auction House than I am.
I don't have 1,000 posts yet, but I'm close.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's active enough that I've seen him
Mhm.
in his Trafalgar profile picture.
You've had to moderate me once or twice.
No, actually a cool metric you can look at on each person when you look at them in the moderating edit user menu. You can see how many times they've been reported actually.
Nice.
And
Oh,
Dex, you
who's
have
who's
actually
winning?
Dex has actually never been reported.
Let's
Wow,
Who's
nice.
go.
who's top of that list? Who's been reported the most? That's what I want to know.
Of the moderators, Animali. He's got
I'm
38
sorry.
reports. I've
Easy.
been I've been reported 17 times because I get
What?
into it sometimes. I
Oh.
sometimes insult people. In fact, recently there's the purple bars are VIP, and there's this
Mhm.
Lily person who works on a lot of quality of life things. I insulted them recently, and
Yeah,
they reported me directly.
I think Lily is part of the Windower team, right?
Yeah, I think so. Rooks himself has been reported 3 times. I
What?
was trying. I was trying to find Myth's account, but I don't know what his name is.
Oh yeah, I keep that under lock and key. Actually, I intentionally make it hard for people to track me down.
If you know,
Um,
you know.
yeah, just look for the 8-bit Gubu and you'll find me. I think the easiest place to find me would be on Dex's thread, for his under like his numerous Bernie Sanders memes. I'm once again recruiting for my sortie static here. So I've been curious about this. Maybe this is a morbid question. I don't think it is, but others may see it as that. What is the line people have to cross to get banned from the auction house? Because I've seen some pretty wild stuff on there, and I can't like say that I see a lot of people getting banned. Of course, obviously, I wouldn't know because I don't have access to that.
Oh, for me, it's got to be constant, and like you got to ignore, I guess, like your temp ban more or
Hmm.
less.
Oh,
Because
you
my
do give
first,
out temps.
yeah, I give out temps, and the
Okay.
annoying thing about giving out temps is I actually have to go back and unban them. And there are actually some people who are actually, this is embarrassing to admit, some people who are banned are people I banned, and then I didn't know that I had to unban them
That's fine.
for the temp to go away.
Yeah.
So I just like forgot about them and they just stayed banned.
Funny. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't even if they asked, just be like, "Well, you're permanently banned." Just act like you didn't, like you did that intentionally. It'd be perfect.
I don't
Yeah.
recall if you said you watched the pod like religiously or not, but I think it was an episode or two ago. I had mentioned my interaction with you, and the one that I remembered at least, uh, some guy had disagreed with me on something to do with a strategy in sortie, and I had mentioned how things were typically done like in the meta way, and his response to that was to tell me to choke on my next meal, to die, called me the F slur, all sorts of stuff in DMs. And I was like, "Oh, that's lovely." So I screenshotted that and I posted it in the thread. I was like, "So this is how you respond to me?" like to like air him out. And you deleted my post and sent me a DM. You're like, "He's mad because I topic banned him for hostility. I just don't want to encourage people to post DMs that can lead to fights." And I was like, "Okay."
On the other
Oh
hand,
yeah.
I think that guy is banned now, by the way.
Which one was it?
What was his name again? Because now that he's gone, the DMs are gone. Like his name is missing from it. You know what I mean? All of his posts are missing.
Vyre
Oh,
was like,
if
I've
all
banned 6 people this week. You got to remind me. I need more specifics.
if their posts actually disappear, that means they deleted their account.
Oh, so
Hmm.
he got really salty.
That's funny.
I see. To me, if I have these kind of interactions with toxic people, like I'll kind of like poke the bear, but I forget them the next day. Whereas I live rent free in their mind. So
You look rent free in my mind, Dex. That's for sure.
Giggity?
So Vyre, we asked you what the rewarding parts are of being a mod. What are the hardest parts for you about being a mod in the auction house?
no pay.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't do enough work to deserve pay. But uh, the wait, what was the question? Sorry.
The hardest parts, the most challenging parts about being a mod in the auction house.
It's for me. It's definitely actually delivering adequate punishment. I'm never
Mm.
sure exactly if like I'm punishing them too hard or too little.
Mm.
Because like I said, I mostly resort to temp bans, and usually in the current age, it's very chill, and it's like a lot of the same people posting over and over again. So um, I just don't want to like make a hole if I don't have to by like permanently banning people.
Yeah.
And so far it seems to work, but I don't know. Sometimes I still feel bad about it because like some people like posting on the auction house site, it's like what they do all day. It's
Mm-hmm.
their
Right.
personality, their place.
Yeah, it's
I don't
their
want to
hobby.
disparage anybody, but that's a terrible existence.
Jesus. Yeah. Would you
I mean,
say that the amount of people in the auction house has kind of narrowed itself down over the last couple of years?
I'm not exactly sure about the time period, but
Hmm.
yeah, there's less people now than there were before.
What were you gonna say, Higma?
I was just gonna say I can totally relate to like that idea. Like people can do stuff that's super egregious in my Discord or in Twitch chat or something like that, and I'm like, am I doing the right thing? You know,
Mm.
just like, and I'm like, you know, like I just feel bad because I'm like, I mean, do because I prefer to just not moderate anything. You know, I'm
Mm.
like, you know, it'll
When you
work
have
itself
to,
out.
it's
It's
like an
fine.
inconvenience, right? It's like, oh,
And
you're making
so
me
yeah,
do something.
and so it's like, yeah, man, I feel bad, and I'm like, yeah, but when I think about this objectively, uh, that's not cool. I should definitely step in.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah.
like
I
someone
think
with clear mental health issues is
Yeah.
acting up, and you're like, I feel bad for them. You have empathy for that person who's like acting out for attention, but also they're out of line, and you have to make
Yeah.
something happen.
yeah, I mean, I think my outlook has always been, is this normal behavior from someone that you want in your community? And if no, then I'm more than likely to hit the ban button. Like I've mentioned, there's a streamer in my Twitch chats. One of my when I first started streaming, and he was the very first person I banned. He was another streamer, and I was just like, well, he is blatantly doing stuff to attract attention, and he is like calling other people in chat names and fat and just weird things that you wouldn't normally see from normal people. So it's just one of those things where it's like I'd just rather not have that in my community. I've got no qualms about hitting that ban button personally.
Did you reverse the ban on Velner, or is he still banned?
No, he's actually still banned. But the thing that I do to mess with him is I go into his stream and just to make him think we're still friendly. No, I'm just kidding. It's not Velner. Velner's the best. Okay, so we're getting into the next topic, and that's the state of the auction house today as it was compared to before. So what are some like big changes that you've seen over the years besides the like obviously nuking the politics and religion thing, because that was a really big thread for a really long time. I remember seeing that all the time on the front page. But what are some changes that has happened over the years to that site?
Well, the rule set has changed over time. In the early 2000s, a lot of the rules were different, and you could post all sorts of, I guess, what would be considered heinous or super rule breaking nowadays, like photos with lots of profanity, like borderline nudity, that
Oh,
sort of stuff.
fun.
And then, but the ads that you see on the site, if you don't use an ad blocker, which I fully endorse, please kill advertising. But they have Google AdSense, and eventually Google stepped in and was like, "Hey, we're going to take your website away, like your ad away, and you won't be able to support your website."
Hmm.
And so they had to add in the AdSense based rules, which is how we got like technically you're not supposed to post anything, even with just profanity and things like that. And that's been something that was met with a lot of outcry, especially when it first happened. It's just like, no more funny memes with curse words in them, no more, um, risque profile pictures or
Yeah, no
photos or
more
things.
fun, guys. Did you ever have to moderate? I'm not gonna drop any names, but I know there was at least one person that would post like borderline pictures of themselves in like seductive cosplay and stuff. Was that something that you guys had to kind of squash?
I just
Uh,
moved it to my OnlyFans.
Well, yeah, but I'm pretty sure they'd put it on the auction house, and that player was pretty well known for a while.
I
I
can
know who
only
you're
remember
talking.
one person. There was like a Cecile or something
Yeah,
like that.
that's the one.
Um, but she never really. By the time I became moderator, she was not using the site very often, and I don't think I've seen her use the site in I don't know how long.
Mhm. To be honest, I don't know if that was like something that she did or if it was just because of the people that were in the like surrounding threads and turning it into something that she wasn't intending it. So you never know. But I know there were definitely some risque photos and stuff like that put on there and
Oh, and
people.
I'm sure at some points you've had to moderate like certain dat mods because like we've
Oh
all seen
jeez.
the old images of
Yeah.
people's dat mods.
I remember people talking about that in like 2010 and I was like, how is that even possible? Because I didn't
Mhm.
understand
There was
like modding
another
the game.
there was another website that was a lot more prevalent with those types of posts.
Oh, what was it? Can
Not
you can
not
you
on
tell us can you tell us
Oh,
for the
you wanna
crowd?
you wanna talk about
Oh,
nekosentai.com?
no. Oh man.
There was
Okay.
actually a thread a couple years back that was like, "Where can I get the elf and female dat mods?" And
Oh, God.
Oh,
I, like
talking about
Elven,
the topless
Elven,
ones?
yeah, something like that. But the ones that like that edit like the Corsair AF to like just be basically a vest that's like
Mm.
Oh,
and
I've never heard of that.
things
Interesting.
like that where like it
Give her a
shows
little
off the boobs. But
Mhm.
all this
I
unnecessary.
was all for that thread because I like big crushing on Dom-El ladies, and
Mm, mhm.
Rooks actually stepped in and was like, "Hey, everyone in this thread, stop."
Did you DM Brooks and you were like, dude, don't kill this for me. Come on. Like
Come
do
on.
me this solid.
We
No, no. I think what wound up happening was the guy who posted it, all his links to like the stuff expired or something. So
Mm,
mm.
interesting. So here's a good question, I think, and I just want you to know that these questions were made by ChatGPT. So thank you, ChatGPT, for taking all the work out of prepping for this podcast for me. Um, what role does the auction house still play for active players? And how would you like compare it to other community resources like BG Wiki?
There's actually quite a bit of overlap. Because a lot of people who use the auction house forum over the years also are Blue Garter forum users,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them actually edit the BG wiki still. And until he got banned, Spicy Ryan was one of them. I did not do his banning. Somebody else did his banning, but he got he was one of those guys who's obsessive over the auction house and loved to post there. And he like kept circumventing his ban on different sock accounts, and he even used his wife's account at some point to circumvent his ban. He was like so dedicated.
Dang, I didn't know
Oh
about all
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I know Carrot posted some stuff for him when they were doing like their live stream on one of their last podcasts that they did. Uh I assumed it was probably just him. But I knew he was banned, but I didn't have any of the details, nor do I really care for going into the particulars to be honest. Uh yeah. But
Yeah, it's okay. But yeah, it's more about how it's actually a resource. Basically, a lot of passionate players use it to post their guides, like
mhm,
those that
Mhm.
get to hundreds of pages, but the note at the front of the guide is like what gets updated, and as long as it's being updated still, it's usually relevant. And it's like generally shows you like a good um, over the years the guide makers evolved and started to add in sort of like stopgap gear to the guides, like, hey, this is a good low end gear set, hey, this is a
mhm.
good mid gear. And like it's all arbitrary based on like their own perceptions, but
Of
it's a
course.
lot better than the guides used to be. Like when people first started making guides on the auction house site, it would be like, this is the best stuff you need to get, and this is the best stuff you need. And if you don't get the stuff,
You suck.
don't bother.
Yeah.
Like,
Might as well
I
not
have to
even play
say,
the
like,
game.
we talked about the gear sets thing 2 episodes
That's
ago?
the last one.
It was the last one?
Yeah.
Um, we talked about that kind of extensively, and, much to the critique that we did was kinda nuanced, but I would say overall, you're definitely right. They're a vast improvement over what they used to be,
Mhm.
and there's not much to say other than nitpicking, like, specific sets for specific things in high-end situations. Like, I'm very happy with the state of it. It's very nice to just look up a job and be like, "That's relatively good as a starting point."
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if we emphasize this enough during the gear episode, but those are good jumping off points. Those are good benchmarks to use when you're gearing it. I just think a
Yeah.
lot of the
I
misconception
think
comes
yeah.
from copy and pasting those exact sets for every
Yes,
Mhm.
situation.
that's the critique we have for the
Yeah.
most part.
I think one of the big problems with it, well, I mean, there's problems with gear sets in general and those guides, and we've talked about it a lot. But with one of the advantages I think of auction house is that you have like all this dialogue that can happen where there's like, oh, what do you think about this? I'm trying this set instead because it's a forum versus like BG Wiki where
Yeah,
somebody
that's
posts
that's
something
unique on the
and
wiki.
it's static, right?
Hmm.
I think the advantage to the wiki is that it's a wiki and like you can get people if there's a warrior guide, the community warrior guide, there's a lot of editors. And I think that sometimes what you see on auction house is the author stops caring or stops playing,
Hmm. Hmm.
but their guide is still the pinnacle. It's what's referenced all the time, but it hasn't been updated in a while. But it's still like the most recent resource. So
Taking
you
shots
end
at
up having
Rob.
to dig through the conversation and stuff like that. But I do still think that like having that forum based asset has always been super helpful.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Um,
I would say as a whole, like as far as players using the auction house versus Wiki, or sorry, BG Wiki or Clopedia even, the forums are very nice, and being able to look up like people's posted job sets or endgame activity guides and things like that. Those are all really helpful and nice.
mhm.
But like as a whole, the base functions of the website are extremely useful on a day-to-day basis, like looking up prices of things, looking up
Oh yeah.
what I do very often is I'll search an item, click it, and then use the hyperlinks to either of the wikis to find out what it sells
Mm,
for,
yeah.
where I can get it from. Uh, AH is like my first source to get somewhere that I need to be.
Mhm.
And additionally, on the left side, they have so many great assets for like ambuscade price guides. And
Mhm.
I would love to see more things like this be implemented. I'm not thinking of anything in particular, but like more of these types of resources that integrate with the base functions of the auction house are very helpful. And just like
Yeah.
I don't see how I could get through the game
Mm.
normally without these kind of things. It would take so much longer and so much wasted time researching.
Mhm.
I think my favorite tool that I reference just because to answer questions for people is the database tool that shows like um rough server populations and stuff like that, because it's such a common question for people. It's like, oh, what server should I go to? What's the biggest server? Like being able to get some even rough vague snapshot of where activity is quite useful to me.
Oh
Being
yeah.
just a mod, I'm sure you don't know like how those back end tools work, right?
Just a
Because you said you're a
mod. Oh my
Luddite.
gosh.
Well, he said he's a
Uh,
Luddite. That's so like deprecating.
I wish I did. I wish I had a mind for it. But no, I don't. I don't have any programming skills, so I don't. I've never been shown like any of the code or given any of it to work around or
If you
anything.
knew how that worked, I'd grill you even deeper. I'd be like, how accurate is it?
Honestly, you guys could probably ping and ask Rooks to be on your podcast at some point, and he might, if he gets the time, he might. And then you could ask him about it. He might know.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't know, he'll just say, "Oh, that's a Scrag question."
Yeah. If I could get over how starstruck I would be if Rooks was on, we could definitely reach out and see if he'd be interested at any point. I have a couple other people um, that I have talked to like once or twice about trying to bring on from various other like community resources. But Vyre, have you ever been involved on anything on the BG Wiki side, or are you strictly auction house?
No, I've never been involved with Blue Guardian myself. Mainly because I didn't realize there was a forum for it for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time I realized there was a forum for it, it had become Spicy Ryan's like replacement forum. So I
That
like
tracks.
he'd been there all along, but
Yeah.
like he after he lost his auction house access, he kind of like he got really into being a wiki editor over there, and
Mm-hmm.
um, I was just like, yeah, I think one forum is enough for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, BG was a forum before it was a wiki.
Yes, long
And
before
yeah, and I remember people talking about, again, this was back when it was actually called Blue Garter and not just BG Wiki.
the Order of the Blue Garter.
Yeah, yeah, and it was kind of one of those things where it was a higher end, more restricted access kind of resource. So you had to be kind of in the know to really be involved in that.
So I was like higher end because I posted on it.
Oh yeah, you're the best. Absolutely.
I
The
So
remember
boys is like me just went to Killing Effort and Encyclopedia.
I remember when Wings of the Goddess came out, and there were a lot of new NMs that people didn't know how they functioned,
Hmm.
and I would post on Blue Garter forums, like I think one in particular, Skittlus, the wyvern in Grauberg. We were posting how it spawned, how long it took. Like I took MS Paint and just copy pasted the Grauberg map and like drew where it popped and stuff.
Mm, hell yeah.
Like stuff like that. Like just discussing NMs and topics and stuff.
Hmm. That's awesome.
That was a
Um,
long time.
for our next question, Vyre, do you have any like standout favorite memories tied to the auction house and that community?
Let me think. Let's see.
I'm sure there's some good ones from again politics and religion, but outside of that, focusing on the good stuff. Uh, And besides Dex's, screenshotting of people calling F slurs on the
I
auction
wouldn't call
house.
that a good memory. I'm sure Vyre sees plenty of that,
Hmm.
so that's, like, not something memorable to him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's less often than you think, but yeah, I really liked the when I like really started getting into the auction house site, when the tsunami and the earthquake, meltdown at Daiichi, um, and just like lots of people started coming into the auction house site and talking about the game, and also doom speaking about the game and stuff. It's a
Hmm.
really memorable time because that's like when I started making like my first like forum friends, I guess. And then that's when I started getting like private messages and stuff. And there was this user, actually a few users who started posting around that time too, who had been more serious about the game. One of them was this girl named Ninian, based off of I believe the Fire Emblem 7 character, and then this cool guy who recently passed away, Prothescar.
Oh
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Shout out to
Yeah,
Prothescar, man.
they uh, they started using the auction house forum
Hmm.
and just like seeing their posts, and then like I had all these private message exchanges with Ninian, um, and then just like all these different people. Like there was another social thread called like they tried to make it Final Fantasy 11 themed for like a social thread. It was a
Hmm.
Final Fantasy 11 auction house link shell knee, and like the knee spell line, Utsusumi knee,
Hmm.
Keitan knee, all that. And they had these like this like clique in there of these like young adults in their like late 20s, early 30s talking about stuff like, okay, it's Wednesday, we all have to get Chinese food now, and take screenshots of it,
What?
post it up and stuff. And so it's like every Wednesday, like everyone's going and getting Chinese food, and
Sounds great.
like it was this like cool little like friend group and stuff.
Yeah, and maybe we should start doing that on the podcast Discord. Everybody go get Chinese food on podcast days. We can
Hell yeah.
share pictures. That'd be a good time.
So it's kinda like on the forums when things evolve beyond just a forum and it's more community based. That's like really wholesome.
Hmm.
I know when people pass away, unfortunately, like big names like Proth, people will make those threads and sometimes they go like tens of pages deep of just people reminiscing on a memory with that person or like
Yeah.
talking about their post and things they contributed. It's always really wholesome and sad but somber at the same time.
Yeah, for those listening that aren't familiar, Prothescar was a player that contributed a ton to the community. He created the Blue Mage Guide on the auction house. I think he kept it up to date pretty recently, and he passed away a couple months back. And somebody posted on the auction house there was a memory thread created in his honor because he from I didn't communicate with him too much, but from what I understood is that he was a very wholesome and very good contributor to the community.
Powerful.
Yeah. So shout out to Prothescar. Thank you for all of the stuff that you did over the years. We will definitely miss you.
I feel like as far as memories of the auction house being really wholesome and great, like that's one of them. Like
Hmm.
that's a great standout.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Every now and then, that seems to be something that I think the auction house treats that more respectfully when some people will come online and be like, "Hey, my mom played this game for however many years, and I just found her
Mm.
character and all of her stuff that she contributed to this forum." And I've seen a handful of posts like that over the years, and I think that's definitely one of the more wholesome and supportive areas that happens. And I've seen that on Reddit as well, but auction house probably a couple more. Moving on to our next one. Do you have any particularly funny or wild community moments that you remember as a mod fire?
As a moderator, not really. Like I said, like since I've been on the site for so long,
Mhm.
it was a lot more wild, before the rule set changed. And honestly, and I kind of felt this way, and especially feel it nowadays. It just feels like it's very placid. Like it's
Mhm.
very still, in
Mhm.
my opinion. But I do remember some wild times before I was a mod where there was like this was some of what the other mods had to deal with.
Mhm.
These older mods, they had a moderator at one point named Chris, and he was like moderator when it was like the Wild West, where people were just like the rule set had just changed.
Okay.
And so like he's having to moderate like all these crazy pictures, like people posting, like profanity on purpose or like nudity on purpose
Mhm.
and everything. So he's having to like toe a really hard line. And the cool thing about the guy is he's like an ex-Marine. So like
He was not putting up with any shit.
yeah, he was pretty cool, and he got a bum rap in my opinion. A lot of people like gave him a lot of hate because they were just upset big that because they couldn't post titty. But
Damn.
Mhm.
uh
I'd be upset too.
Degen.
Okay. If you could bring back one aspect of the auction house that has changed over the years, what would you bring back besides the softcore porn?
dang.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would bring back, if I could, and Rex would shudder at this, but I would bring back politics and religion,
Really?
um,
Wow.
and because I was willing to moderate it, and I'm still willing to moderate it.
That's bold.
Um, the it's not like super enjoyable to moderate it, but like it is pretty satisfying when two people have been like having this, political rage fest, and then like you just get to come in and be like, shut up.
Oh, so what you're after is the power trip. I gotcha. I,
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, I kind of like the idea too. Like you mentioned this earlier that it was at people's outlet. Like you give them a place to get wild, and then maybe they're more tame in the rest of the channels.
It's true, yeah. It might be
Is that why
something.
you have the Degen dungeon for me?
Oh yeah, no, that's absolutely. But what pisses me off is when it starts leaking outside of that area.
Hmm.
Yeah, then that definitely happens. I like I said earlier, I had to moderate some people for that this week.
Can't censor me.
It wasn't you though. You're normal. You're normally kind of okay about it. Not always, but sometimes. Okay.
I
Um.
piggyback on other people.
So we are getting towards the end of the line of questioning for the auction house. We have just a couple more. And chat, if anybody in here has any other questions for Vyre as far as what his role is in the auction house and what being a mod looks like and the funny stuff that he's had to deal with over the years, please feel free. We got a couple more questions that we will go over, and then we'll be wrapping it up pretty soon. So the next question is, let me pull it up real quick. Where do you see the auction house in the future? Do you see it changing and adapting more, or do you think it's going to hold steady? What do you think? Do you think there's going to be a flood of new creators now that we're starting to lose some people like Prothesgar? Or do you think those holes are going to be filled?
It's hard to say. I don't think the auction house site itself is going anywhere,
Hmm.
so long as it maintains its Google ad revenue that keeps it afloat. I think Rooks is in charge of that side of things. I don't know if he ever has to like chip in from his own paycheck or anything to keep it running. Um, I assume he does occasionally because the ad revenue can't be that big, but yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere because
Yeah.
it's sort of venerable and uh, a bit wizened, but like it's like it's like a piece of furniture for the 11 community. It's like that old couch that's just always been there, and like you can't get rid of it no matter how
Hmm.
ratty it gets because it's just so comfy to sleep on.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
But I think there might be new guide makers. I mean, recently, that one dude made that
The Paladin
Paladin
one?
guide,
Mm-hmm.
and then you guys talked about that last episode a bit.
Yeah.
There's still people out there who want to make guides. It's just I don't know if all of them want to put them on the auction house site, and I also don't know, when they would come about or like when they, like what they would do exactly. Because
Yeah.
I mean
I would
those old guys still go, and like even when they don't get upgraded or updated, people will still talk about the most recent stuff on the most current page. Like I know
Yeah.
for a long time the Warrior guide
Mm-hmm.
just did not get updated at all in Auction House. Like you go
Yeah.
look at it and it's telling you to like, get a Ragnarok for your Mighty Strike Zerg,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
like Valorous body is like a high mid-end piece or something. And I'm just like, what era was that?
Yeah. Yeah. I think Warrior in particular has been one of those jobs that has kind of been not updated in quite a while on a lot of this stuff, which is funny because it's one of the most popular jobs. But yeah, that's interesting. I know there's definitely been an influx of guides created on BG Wiki with the whole deleting a lot of the resources that were there. So I do think it's interesting
Mhm.
that there are things that can really ratify the community and coming together and putting resources out for people.
Well, I would say just from a user standpoint that uh, making a page or a thread in the auction house forums, it's not, the simplest thing, but it's also not that complicated. Like comparatively, making a page or a guide on the BG Wiki
Hmm.
is a lot more complicated.
Hmm. Interesting.
It's like a barrier of entry there.
Cool. Um, Vyre, do you have any advice for people that might be coming to the auction house for their first time? Like we've had an influx of newer players coming from Final Fantasy 14 because of the crossover. If you had somebody coming to 11 for the very first time and they just walked into the auction house, what's your advice? What would you tell them to check out? What would you tell them to avoid?
I guess my advice would be don't read too deeply into the bickering when
Hmm.
people talk about like gear sets or talk about like where a job is at in the gameplay meta.
Hmm.
Um, because a lot of the guys that do the back and forth on Auction House are older and jaded, and then also just they have as much as they rely on like the what's the new thing? Like it used to be spreadsheets they relied on. Now it's this sim program where it's like, oh, the sim
Yeah.
says this is the best. Like, um, a lot of the discussion is I don't know if I'd say hardcore, but it's like it's beyond what you need to like take in to
Hmm.
really experience 11. And I would just I don't know, don't take the auction house site too seriously. Just come here for what's useful. If you feel like posting, like random thoughts will take anybody.
Hmm.
And the random question thread is a great place to start. You can ask anything. I'm in there almost every day, like just thinking, what could I ask? Because like sometimes I ask questions in there because I legitimately don't know stuff because there's so much to know in 11. Like
Oh yeah.
I can never feel like I know everything.
Hmm.
But sometimes I just go in there and I ask a question because it's like, hey, what if, some new person had just asked me this question in like the mentor chat because I'm an in-game mentor and it's like I didn't know the answer, so I guess I need to go ask that question.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important for people to play this game in general. Like I do this all the time. I did it probably either yesterday or this morning. When people like ask questions, and if they're like specifically asking you, you can give them the information that you have, and then also give them like a better reference. So like somebody was asking in our Discord about bard songs, so I answered with what I knew, and then I tagged Dex because he's my resident bard guy, and I was like he would know more about this. And it's okay to not know everything about the game, right? There's
It's
too
very
much
collaborative.
information. Yeah. I think it's important to, reference the players that have those specialties. So,
I like your answer in that you're advising players not to take what the jaded uh shitty old people are saying on the website as fact when they should be coming to our podcast where it's all factual from also jaded old people.
Yeah, no. Well,
I like
we are young adults. He described them as 20 late 20s early 30s. So that's except for Hegmo. We are young adults in here. So
Yeah, you
Hegmo
have
is
the
30.
magnificence of Hegmo's mustache.
yeah,
It's
True.
it'll draw them in.
it ages down by at least 5 to 10 years for sure. Um Last question. Actually, no, second to last question. Apologies. If there were any improvements or features that you would change to the auction house, what would those be?
This could be a wish list. Like
Mhm.
you don't have to be Rooks. Like you'd be like, Rooks, please do this.
Yeah, and knowing
Um,
us, Rooks would probably take us really seriously, I would think.
I don't think I've ever really wanted a change. Mainly because I don't like I don't understand what would be good, I guess.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Maybe if the auction house could somehow get its own version of the Guildwork plugin
That'd be
to
cool.
display like the person's current like mission status and gear sets and
I would
everyone
love that.
everyone loves to display that, for one part's bragging rights, but
Mhm.
also just one part's like it's neat to have on your character profile to show like your progress
Yeah.
and where you're at. Like, you go to some people have kept it working somehow, like for their individual characters, and like you go on some of these people, like there's this longtime user named Felgar, I think he's from
Mhm.
I think he's actually Palestinian, but he's been playing 11 since like before me, and you go to his page and you can see he's got like almost every Rima in the game,
Mhm.
and it's just listed out, and it's like this nice like achievement, like your medals, like your chest candy.
Yeah, bring
Like,
back the point system where you can get rank 1 in your server.
Yeah, I think that's kind of antiquated at this point, right?
Yeah, for sure. But it'd be interesting to have some sort of thing. If
The,
not the
the way
ranked stuff, then the just the keeping track of all the stuff that you have, like Guildworks did.
the way that Guildwork stuff tracked was like you got points for each 75 or each like experience point you got.
Mhm.
And nowadays that's all irrelevant because it's all master levels and mastery.
Yeah, Felgar would
oh
still be
yeah,
number one because he has all jobs at ML50. So,
I would say absolutely like that feature would be amazing if they could separate completely from the whole Guildworks outlet and pull that information from the servers
mhm.
in-house. That would be wonderful. Because I know I personally hated when I lost all that information on my display to the point that I made my personal BG Wiki page so I could like plug in a bunch of information to keep track of it.
Yeah,
I always
So
like the experience counter till max cap they had. Like, it shows like all
yeah,
your job levels and how much
Mhm.
EXP you needed till max cap.
Yeah.
I would
Mhm.
love if they'd implement like another EXP counter, but for master levels, and just demoralize you by showing you, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, you're ML40, you know,
Yeah.
only 25 million more exemplar till ML50. Like,
Yes. We need
I mean,
more
there's so many things that like that kind of integration was really cool for, and I think that like I'm right now running around Adoulin just doing random quests, but like that's one thing the Dex brought up, like making your own personal BG Wiki page, and that was one thing that I did at one point was like creating my Adoulin garden, Mog garden, or my Adoulin coalition assignment tracker, so I could keep up with what I had left to do. And yeah, man, if there's a programmer that can pull that information and track it for us on Final Fantasy Auction House, that'd be awesome.
There is a
Like,
website that came out not too long
yeah,
ago that does that. But
really.
yeah, I remember seeing the post on Auction House. I was a little confused because it basically just looked like the BG Wiki stuff all over again
yeah,
on a different website. Um, but I don't think it links to the game is the problem.
yeah. I
But
needed to read my quest log and just
yeah,
tell me because I'm not about to
yeah.
fill out a spreadsheet.
Hmm.
Even the Guildwork stuff aside, that where it displays, your jobs and your quests and all that, your remas. The player if you go to your player page, there's the whole home page where you see what you've sold and bought, and then there's like item sets, merits, job points, all that stuff.
Mhm.
I think that's pulled from Guildworks as well to an extent, but I feel like a lot of that could be tracked in house, and if that would
Mm.
get implemented, that'd be amazing. Like there's a lot of more modern stuff you could track and allow players to display that would just like increase customization and show offness, and people would be more inclined to come to the website and express themselves.
Yeah, that'd be really dope. All right. Very last question, Vyre. Do you have any message that you would like to share with the community, uh, and to the longtime members of the auction house?
Quit being shitheads.
I don't think I do.
No, you're
Other
like, I have
than
nothing to say to them.
it's just more like I don't know. They know who I am,
Yeah.
and I think they should all just actually go back. And some of them don't play the game anymore, and I think they
Mhm.
should play the game again.
That's
That's a
true.
very good point.
Yeah.
Come play the game again. Come put boots on the ground and see more than the sim, and uh, you know,
Well,
accidentally
let's
heal Ida
slow down
or
there right
something.
there real quick, because there is nothing outside of the sim. So let's just
We're living in a
let's
sim.
clear that up right real quick. If it doesn't math out on the sim, then it's completely wrong. That's why I'm really bad at this game.
Life is a sim, sir.
Yes.
No, I refuse to believe that Noble Hegmo is just a simulation.
This is the third time this accusation's come up recently,
Yeah.
and I need you guys to stop calling attention to it.
Yeah. I think I proposed earlier this week that Hegmo's actually an AI, and I'm not convinced that he's a real person.
Well, I've seen the AI altered images of Hegmo on
Mhm.
his Discord, and they look stunning.
They look the exact same. So
Mhm.
that just goes to show that Hegmo is probably AI.
So ultimately, middle ground Vyre who loves to see the controversy, but you know, not moderate it too hard.
Mhm.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and you have Final Fantasy Auction House.
And you get a bucket of popcorn.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you, Vyre, for hanging out with us today. I really appreciate it. Thanks for answering all of our silly, goofy questions and giving us some insight into your experience with both the game and the auction house website. Really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problems. Really, really enjoyable to be on the podcast. Again, a bit surreal. And
Yeah,
I'll get back to delivering you guys long comments,
good.
and it'll be
I'm looking forward to it.
it'll be weird when I listen to this later when I'm taking like a bath in Epsom salts. I'll be
Mhm.
like, wait, why am I hearing myself so much?
Yeah, you're gonna listen to
God.
it and then comment being like, actually, at 2 minutes and 42 seconds, and you're gonna be like quoting yourself and then correcting it. I would love that. That would
Well,
be.
we appreciate the comments.
Mhm.
They're not, they're just anecdotal or fun little things that you're liking to share, and they're not toxic like some of them are. So we appreciate those and keep them coming.
Yeah,
I've only blocked one person from the auction house from commenting on the YouTube stuff, and it was just because I was just tired of it. So
you mind if I ask you guys some minor off the wall questions?
Absolutely.
yeah,
Oh,
go ahead.
absolutely.
Okay, first question is for Dex.
Uh-oh.
Dex, why no Trafalgar on podcast / Discord PFP? And then also, who is this cute anime girl in your PFP?
If you're not watching Dandadan, you should be watching Dandadan. Trafalgar is probably my favorite One Piece character. I read the manga. I'm a very deep manga reader. I read. If I go to the website I use, I'm currently reading about 120 manga. Currently,
Holy shit.
Good
a
lord!
lot of them are
Wow.
rom-coms, so don't judge me. But yeah, I like to read new manga. I read tons of fucking manga.
Mhm.
So Trafalgar is my favorite dude, and I like the way that he looked in that panel and that one part of, I believe it was from Wano. But yeah, it looked cool. And then somewhere along the line, he was always my Discord picture. And somewhere along the line, I was like, I'm making it Dandadan because Dandadan's sick. And now I'm using Momo from Dandadan.
Yeah, you've been hyping up
I'm an anime.
Dandadan since before the anime came out.
Yeah, I've been trying to get people on Dandadan because I've been reading it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a big weeb, short and simple. And any character I'm vibing with in the current month, I'm gonna change my profile picture to that.
Hell yeah.
I would highly recommend you read either of those series. There's plenty of
Cool.
recommendations I can make for you too if you are an anime head.
There's your off-topic auction house thread to start.
Mm-hmm.
Dex's
There is an
manga
anime one.
recommendation.
Yeah.
It'll be
Okay.
like a 6-post long single list. Yeah, I like that.
I'd
Now,
have to break it down by category and like, you know, topics
Mhm.
for each different type of manga that I would
Just a
recommend.
new
Like, oh,
thread for each category.
you like action? Okay, here's like the top 10.
all right. That's pretty cool. I'll make sure to give Dandadan a check out.
It's worth it.
My next question's for Hegmo.
Oh boy.
Mr. Hegmo, sir, are you gonna stage 5 Helheim?
Mm.
Ooh, I think that I have really enjoyed using Helheim. Currently with Disaster and with Lafria in my arsenal, I honestly feel like they perform very similarly. So in that case, like I kind of would prefer to diversify. Like I want to stage 5 if I'm going to do something. I want to get something for a different job that I'll use differently. Because I have my stage 5 grade X now, so like that kind of fills that role that I need it for warrior, with the exception of like the thing I still use Helheim for is swapping for Shockwave, which is just like such a huge utility for me. But I think if I ended up with some like crazy surplus of mesos or something like that, maybe down the line, but I think there's a list of things for other jobs that I would probably do first.
Is Helheim unironically the highest magic accuracy greatsword for Shockwave?
Oh, probably. I mean, I haven't thought about it from that sense, but it very well could be.
It's a great question. I have no idea. And
I
I
think
never
the
will.
Morgulai might come close because the Su 5 weapons are pretty close, but that's rune only, right? So
True.
Yeah, absolutely.
and then final and simplest question for Mr. Myth.
Mhm.
How did you come to love Goobus? And when did you start loving Goobus?
That's a great question.
And
His mother
uh,
loves
do you know a girl named Allie Morel who loves Goobus?
So, first thing, I do not know a girl named Ali Murrow that loves Goobus, so I apologize for that. My love of Goobus really. So when I was talking about starting the stream, my girlfriend is the one that came up with the idea, right? And she's actually the one that loves Goobus, and she's the
Oh,
one that's infatuated with all the Gubu stuff. And when we were discussing the stream, and when I talk about like my manager, I'm always talking about my girlfriend. She is. We were talking about the themes, right? So the themes are either going to be like the Shiba Inu dog, and we are going to like have like Shiba related activities and shenanigans. And that's what I thought we decided on. And then she went down this like rabbit hole of creating the 8-bit Gubu stuff and all of these like Gubu related things, and I was like, well, we can only have one theme. Like we can't do Shiba Inus and Gubus. So you got to pick, and she picked the Gubu. And ever since then, like, and what's not to love about a Gubu? They're
She
these
picked right.
beautiful, delicate, amazing little creatures. They've got the best butts ever.
Flat.
They're no. Um they're
Stealth blade.
majestic and everyone loves them. So what's not to love about a good Gubu? And anybody, if I hear anybody say that Goobus have a Hank Hill butt one more time, I'm gonna fucking lose it. I'm gonna lose it.
He's gonna start go on another banning spree. You guys gotta
yeah,
stop.
yeah. This is the only warning that I'm gonna give, and everybody
Until
knows
you
I'm gonna
release
give.
the Goobu butt mouse pad,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna even entertain your threat.
Okay. All right, I
Right.
will look into the Goobu butt mouse pad. We will we'll start development right away.
Awesome.
We love a good
Hmm.
Goobu.
That's all my questions.
Hell yeah! Thanks for the questions, Vyre. Really appreciate that. Everybody, thanks for watching the episode. Please feel free to check us out on Twitch. Check out the Goobu Farm Discord. Check out the Hegmo Discord. Hegmo has been doing some really cool stuff on his Friday stuff or his Friday night streams. It's been, if you want to learn how to make pizza and want to see some really cool collaborations with streamers, that would be really cool to check out. Shiraj couldn't make it today, but he is out there always educating people on the game, which I really appreciate. Hopefully he will be back with us next time. I will be gone for a couple of weeks. My return date is probably going to be towards the end of the month. So if I don't upload anything, it's just because I've got some stuff going on in real life. Other than that,
No.
I know, I'm sorry. But we have plans. We have plans to try to do at least one supplementary content related thing to keep everybody entertained. We will reveal more about that at a later date. But thanks for everybody for hanging out. You guys want to add anything before we go? Cool.
We're
great.
taking over.
Nothing from me.
Fantastic.
We're taking over. Don't worry, we got it.
Yep.
We got it. We got this covered.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, love you. Bye.